Showtime in 60 seconds. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a front ass.
I never heard that.
Does that not look like an ass?
Yes.
But on the front.
Yes.
You know you're fat when you got a front ass.
Did you ever have one?
I'm not going to choose to answer that question.
Represent Alabama at the national pageant on Thanksgiving.
I don't think I did.
What's wrong with you, Jay?
Come on,
I don't know if I had a front ass or not.
Come on, Jay.
I didn't know if you were
Jesus, Jay.
speaking from personal
You start
experience or
asking
you just
you-
seen them.
No,
I've never even
Want me to
heard
start
it before.
asking you some embarrassing questions?
You usually do.
Dan, text them to me.
You're
Listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge Show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Is it a little hot in here for me? Yeah. Seth's always running hot. Lummy, do me a favor. By the way, it's the hello everybody.
Good morning.
Monday, June 10th, 2024, the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, by whatever means you consume us. Digitally or terrestrially or via a download later today on Bubba Army HQ. There's just so many. Like visually, let me, what this particular show visually is on like what? Let me see.
37 platforms, Bubba.
Shut up.
Or should I say Mr. Merch Crick?
Shut up, Seth. I can already see what kind of day
I
it's going
read
to
the
be.
thumbnail for the show, Bubba. I'm just intrigued. It made me click on this instead of my Calta.
I didn't see.
Sicilian Redneck 25 on the Venmo.
I didn't see. Let me see. Did Bubba really get married over the weekend?
It's a good thumbnail.
Neil Malplaisir 50 on the Super Chat.
This goes to the Eric Andre situation on Friday, where I participate. I don't know if you call it a show. I think you'd call it more of a performance. I
had a great time, Bubba. I know that there's critics of it and some of the content, but I think that you did great. I didn't know what to expect. I had a good time. Seemed like
Here's what I understand.
Yeah.
For years, our show has not been show us your D, but there's been a lot of D exposed on my show over the years. It just
more than any other show, you think?
Well, I would say Howard. They have penis specific, shows.
Yeah.
Contesting. We,
Still?
we don't know. Yeah, I think they did. I think they just most recently had something to do with where they put a blindfold on somebody and they put Richard Christie's penis on a plate.
Okay.
And then they put something else on a plate. and a guy's got to get blindfolded and then feel each plate and determine which one's which one is which one's really Richard's penis.
Does it?
But hold on. Here's what I understand. Howard and I have been doing stunts and things like that over there. I mean, we're kind of now past the stunt stage, but it seems like, and I'm not talking bad about Eric Andre, I would do his show again in a minute, and I plan on following up with him. Seth, see if every once in a while we can have him on the air. You know what I'm saying? Like now that I've done his show, I don't know if he considers me a friend or not, but he did. We did exchange pleasantries in the back. Backstage, he was like, "Man, I'm super pumped that you made it, and your show was when I appeared on your show, that was great." And I asked him, "Will you come back on after?" Yes, absolutely, I will.
You did ask him all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
After you guys had left.
Oh, all right.
It was me, the Merch Crick, and Zeth in the green room, and then there came a point where the show was about ready to start, maybe 5 minutes, and the Merch Crick and Zeth went out so where they could see the show.
Are you jobbing out Rhett? Did you forget that he was there?
No, Rhett stayed with me. Rhett stayed with me. There was a period of time where I don't know where Rhett went, but I got an opportunity right before Eric Andre went out, and he had like he was talking to all of his little handlers there.
Did they have like a prayer circle?
No, but they had a strategic circle nonetheless. Like, don't. Because I think his show's so spontaneous that he may not really know what he's doing till literally he walks out there. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bubba proposal. He wasn't prepared for that. He wasn't. I gave him Merch Crick's big mouth gave him that information.
I saw it all happen.
So I introduced Rhonda Shear as my girlfriend. Rhonda Shear's in the back, and I'm like, hey, Rhonda, this is my girlfriend, Merch Crick.
And she should have a show on the USA Network, Bubba?
Yeah, Up All Night. Yep. She used to be way over. So anyway, listen. So then Eric Andre comes in and said, "This is your girlfriend?" And Merch Crick, loudmouth bitch, she goes, "No, I'm his fiance." Because a while back, maybe I gave her a ring a while back. Okay.
Which I did not know. I did not know
She's
about
sneaky.
this.
So sneaky.
No, I'm sneaky.
That's what I'm saying. You're sneaky.
I don't want people knowing my business. That's the thing. I'm like almost Steve, Steve Diaco, because Steve's the most secretive. Dan's transparent.
No. Jay's the most secretive.
Yeah. I'm like Jay. I've gone from Dan to Jay. Dan is wide open. Here it is. Look at it. Talk about it. Here's what I'm doing. Dan's wide open. I'm buying a new car. I'm not buying a new car. I'm turning my backyard into a football field. Like Dan doesn't keep any secrets.
No.
Like with whatever. But meanwhile, Jay's
You have no idea.
Jay, you have no idea. That little sneaky bastard. You don't know what he's up to. Is he in Costa Rica? Is he in Miami? Is he with Kendall? Is he not? Where are they going? Like, are they going to Ocala for a Thanksgiving behind Arlene's back?
Hey, listen.
Jay got eloped.
Yes.
Jay.
No one knew.
Yeah,
bastard.
Hold on. You want to talk about one of the biggest?
I want to talk about your secrets.
We will. But I'm comparing myself to Jay Diaco, the great Jay Diaco, and the fact that Dan's wedding was Italian and over the top, and Coach Gruden was there, and it was at a big clubhouse.
Bubba was there,
and Jimmy Cleveland, all the who's who were there, and it was just way expensive and way over the top. My wedding was way over the top. Way expensive.
It was Bubba. Your food at your wedding was as nice as it gets. It was really one of the nicest wedding receptions I've ever been to.
It was, Howard was there and Hogan was there. It was just crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Jay, him and Kendall one day go down to the courthouse and just get married. That's it. And then they went on vacation. And nobody knew.
No one knew.
No, and Arlene supposedly flipped a script. Who was madder, Joe or Arlene?
Arlene.
Really?
Dad didn't care.
Dad's like, whatever, Jay. What do you want, buddy?
It's less he had to pay for.
Exactly.
He's like, you're on your own.
You're right, man. Because the grooms isn't the groom usually in charge of Well, and all the bitches that we married, we paid for all of it.
That's the problem,
Because-
Bubba. Is like when you have a little bit of a disproportionate
Yeah.
finances, you end up
When
paying
you
for
have
everything.
more money than your bride's dad does, like, because, at the end of the day, the bride's mom and dad are supposed to pay for the wedding.
Yes.
Right? But when
Yes.
you're a millionaire
That doesn't
and,
happen.
and your bride's mom and dad are on Social Security, you got to pay for it all. I paid for my entire wedding. Dan, I promise you paid for your entire wedding.
Yep.
When Steve and Krista got married back in 1951, I mean, did they even was there a big reception or anything? Was it?
They had a reception. It was limited.
Was it traditional or?
No, they had a church wedding and a reception afterwards. I mean, they did it as cost effectively as possible.
Right, just a couple kids out of college.
Yeah, it wasn't very elaborate, but it was nice. It was a
Dan
nice
and I
wedding.
were already millionaires when we did our wedding, so we had millionaire weddings.
Right,
but
it was over the top.
I'm never gonna do that again, and I'm never gonna tell anybody when I'm married, and I'm never gonna. And I didn't tell anybody that I, probably about 3 or 4 months ago got engaged.
Can you tell us how it went down? Because I do want to say two things.
Did you guys go up like in a hot air balloon or do something like that?
Hell
I mean-
no. Obviously, you haven't been listening to the show since Friday. I said the last thing I'd ever go on in my entire life would be a hot air balloon. That is the worst, because there was a family of 4 that died in Indiana. No, they didn't die, did they, Lummy?
No, they didn't.
They were hot air ballooning, Dan, and then all of a sudden they hit some power lines.
Oh, no.
And the power lines burnt off the basket from the balloon.
Oh, Jesus.
And they fell about 30 feet in a basket. I'm thinking, out of all the things that you can go, you can aviate in a helicopter, you can aviate in in an airplane, you could even aviate. I don't know if I'd be jumping off the cliff with one of those hand gliders or not. I'm just saying that's pretty ballsy. But just out of standard aviation, I am not going up on a hot air balloon. Like, it seems like you have very little control. A lot. The winds are steering you. You don't have really anything to propel you at all. You just float, and you try and you land and take off by floating. Just screw that. What happens if a big 15-mile-an-hour gust of wind comes up and it takes you into the power lines? You don't have the power to get out of the power lines. Screw that. I ain't going hot air ballooning ever.
I think it's a good position for you, Bubba.
So no, Dan. Me and Merch Crick, when we got engaged about 3 weeks ago, it was just
3 weeks or 3 months.
It was like 2 months a second ago.
Maybe it was like 3 months ago.
Oh my God, you're all over the place.
Can I just say, Bubba?
This sounds like a lie.
Everybody in the Bubba Army is saying they already knew this because they've seen Merch Crick wearing a ring for
Right.
months. Can I tell you, I
haven't really tried to kayfabe it.
I haven't noticed. I did not know at all.
Nobody asked me.
No one looks at her fingers when
Right,
when
that's
she
what I'm-
walks by. You see her boobs.
I had no.
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen her fingers in years.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Dan actually took her fingers off when he was giving her
Dan
those
didn't even
CCs.
ever. Yeah, exactly.
How
I
about
guarantee
burp,
you.
$10?
I guarantee you, when Dan did her breast dog, that he never once looked under the drape and to see her fingers.
Nope, not once.
Not once.
Maybe her feet. No, I'm teasing.
I'm just saying, when you got jugs as big as hers, I don't think a lot of people see her fingers because she does got big jugs.
Right. No one's looking at her fingers.
And so
She's got the worst nails of all time, and no one cares.
actually, she has impeccable nails. That's one of my prerequisites. I mean, you're gonna. Hold on.
God, no.
I mean, I guarantee you, Romina has nice nails.
Yeah, all girls should have nice nails.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's a big thing. Teeth, nails, come on, toes.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Wash your feet.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, even you working girls out there that got kids and a career, and you're gonna pick up. I mean, and you're super busy because your husband Seth isn't helping you at all. But anyway, I'm just saying, you should have us guys. We take a lot of credence and really I really concentrate. I don't concentrate, but I always glance at a woman's fingernails and her teeth. I always do.
Oh, you can't help it.
Even if you were a straight 10, you had the best body and the prettiest little face and the nicest little bubble ass and just was popping. If you got bad teeth, that's a deal breaker for me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you open up and you got Mountain Dew mouth, teeth are just as big. You know what?
I don't worry about anything you can fix with a little scratch.
Teeth are as important as boobs, really.
I bought Phoebe 4 teeth before I married her.
You
Did you really?
Yeah,
It's not your
$6,000.
Wow.
I remind her all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Back when you
Take
made
it back.
money and back when you actually back when you actually made more than her and bought her nice things because you loved her.
Oh, man, Bubba, you're giving the people something to talk about
No,
now.
I'm not,
Yeah, you
lover.
are.
You
They love talking about how my wife supports me. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but...
I mean, listen, I mean,
I'm envious.
can I tell you something? Ashley makes more than Lummy.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
get
just
that.
saying.
She supports me.
Yeah, so like I'm just saying.
I would... Okay, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's just there's some instances. You don't think Tarek, my brother-in-law, I mean, my sister. Hold on, how about this? My sister makes more than me. You know, that's a little bit of a
No, it's-
love.
no,
And
it's
Dan,
not.
in the guy world, in the old school guy
Oh yeah,
world,
it's castrating. I understand.
you know,
Bubba.
if you, let's say you had a sister, okay, and you were doing super good at one time, and your sister didn't make as much as you, and your sister might even worked for you, and then all of a sudden you fell on hard times, and your sister's now a millionaire and a CEO of a major company, and you're just hanging on to some stupid radio show. And it's so bad where when I went to get my pickup truck, she had to co-sign for me because that's how bad my credit is. Even at Rob Elder's, a guy that knew me. I went to Rob Elder's, the guy who's my buddy, but you can't do anything with. I mean, he doesn't control Ford Finance or Ford Motor, financing. He doesn't. I mean, he can.
He's not we pay, we finance here.
No, I mean, Rob's giving me,
Right.
Dead cost on a brand new truck and then the employee rollback and, every possible, there's all kinds of little tricks that they got.
They got a lot. They got a lot.
Like employee rollback and like another 5% kicker and just all this kind of stuff. So he's got me driving a badass this is when it was brand new, 2019 Ford Lariat pickup truck. I mean, like my pickup truck's pretty badass.
It is.
I mean, I got a nice,
really
I got a
nice.
nice pickup truck. I really do. I
Seth
got a
Wiley, 25.
I mean, like Seth, you probably can't appreciate how cool. It's a 5-liter. It's a it's got the same.
It's
Mustang.
the one that you drive or the merch crick drives.
Well, she drives it when she's running errands for me.
Yeah,
but,
that's a
it's
nice
my
truck.
Yeah. And so, but you know how emasculating it is when you used to be a multi-millionaire and, be able to pay cash. I used to literally, when I bought Heather's Escalade, I went in there and I put it on my American Express Black Card.
That's so pimp.
Bam. Bam. The bill came the next month. It was $71,000. I paid it off. Big deal. About to get mine. So I'm just saying now, I went from that, Zeth, went from that. You yell at me because I accentuate that Phoebe's makes more money than you and takes care of you. Well,
She's got better benefits than I do.
My sister takes care of me. Well, I used to be able to buy cars cash, and now I'm having my sister co-sign for me. That's a pretty big turnaround.
I mean,
I'm in. I feel like a bitch too.
No, okay.
I mean, I may run the show here, but I'm a bitch when it comes to in my family.
Well, I didn't quite feel like I'm a bitch, but if we want to get looped together.
But meanwhile,
in that scenario,
Dan, in his family, he's the top of the food chart in his family. Well, not really. Probably Jay is. Damn it! I mean, right? Dan's probably
Jay right now.
Probably,
Yeah.
Jay, Dan. So whatever. But they don't got no sister. They got to worry about rolling up here and being more pimp than them.
Did your sister know you proposed?
It's easier, Dan. It's easier, Dan, for if your brother's doing a little better than you. That's your brother. That's your boy.
Right.
I'm glad for my brother. But when your sister does better than you,
Torture.
yeah, that's I'm not trying to be like.
It's like her beating you in a foot race. Just doesn't happen.
It's not like I'm trying to be anti-woman or not. I'm just being like guy pride, old school guy pride.
Bubba, are you
My
trying
sister had to co-sign on a truck for me.
Are you trying to wiggle us off the marriage thing? Because you keep talking about the Diacos every time I ask you a question about it. So I don't want to. I don't want to keep pressing.
You started this off by saying that you were mad that I was, bringing up the fact that Phoebe takes care of you, and then I parlayed that into Ashley takes care of Lummy, and at the end of the day, my sister takes care of me.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. Yes, and I got fired from 13 jobs. My question is that when did you propose?
You're such a dick.
Neil Malpazier, 20.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, my
Why
God.
does everything that's got heat with you have to come back and be a boomerang? But meanwhile, if anybody gets heat with me, I can't bring it back. Like you boomerang all heat. That heat was funny heat when I said you got fired from 13 jobs. We were in the moment. We were working.
It was a half second. I didn't derail the show by bringing it up. I just
saying,
worked it in there.
It was a fleeter, and it hurt my feelings. You know,
the fleeter hurt your feelings?
Yeah, because I was shooting on you there, being funny, trying to be funny. You know, we were yelling at each other, being funny, and I blurted out a promo. I cut a promo.
Are you talking about the podcast from last week?
Yeah.
Oh well,
that's what you were referring to.
I'm trying to. Yeah, I actually healed from that. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't heal for it. If you bring it back up and throw it in my face.
Yeah, scab. Pick the scab. It's bleeding.
You did heal, but had you not thrown that back in my face just now, you can't get one on me, bitch. You can't talk.
What am
yourself.
I throwing in your face that you said I got fired for 13 jobs?
You can't talk yourself out of this one. You threw back in my face a little bit of promo we were working in, and I thought it was just a promo, and you'd forgiven me for it. But obviously, it's a flare up.
There's nothing wrong with referencing a promo from a past podcast. It promotes everything that we do here at the BRN. Nobody else does it like this.
Integration.
No one else.
I want that exact what he just said before Dan chimed in. That little promo he just said.
Okay,
I love it. No, you're right. We can cross promote a potential podcast that we did last week, but I thought it was I was shooting on you. And I thought we were dancing. You thought it was a shoot, and then I apologized because it wasn't a shoot. We were working.
And Mark and Real and all these other things are working. I don't really know what that means.
You do.
I really actually
do. You've worked here a long time. You know what a shoot is. You know what a work is. You know what an end around is. You know if I'm Shakespearean. You know if it's a Zabi Dob or it's Arm giving you the office.
I'm just always.
You know, if I would have looked at you right now and gave you the office, then you'd know it's the office.
I know. I forgot. I understand.
All right, so. Okay,
it's very complicated.
We'll skip over your little flare up of being mad at me when I was shooting and we were dancing and working yesterday last week on a podcast when I just blurted out you've been fired from all 13 of your jobs. I didn't really know that. I was just trying to be funny, and it's really cut him to the bone.
Because I haven't been fired.
That cuts you right down to the bone.
Because I haven't been fired from anywhere. I left everywhere on my own, seeking a better opportunity, seeking greener pastures.
So you've quit 13 times?
Yeah, there you go.
I've had like 4 jobs, Dan. But everything has to get exacerbated here.
No, you've had way more jobs.
You've had 4 jobs here.
You got 4 jobs right now, bitch.
Beach Meadow Detectives, $10.
You had 2 jobs. You had 2 jobs when you worked here for a while because you're doing Grammatica stuff. So you've had more than 4 jobs. You've had like 10 jobs.
So we're counting like every side job that I do.
Yeah,
I just count the full-time stuff that I do.
No, I mean a job is if you're making money for doing something. That's a job.
Okay.
Like the lightning thing. You were doing that for a couple of years.
That was a job.
That counts.
Yeah, I did that for 4 years, and that's the only job that I got fired from.
The bake more pot.
You got fired for that one?
Yeah, but hold on. You just said you only had 4 jobs. We'll walk through the jobs. What about when you were in high school? Did you ever have a job?
Okay. Yes, I had a job.
Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. What was your first job? Like my first job was I worked at the Warsaw Park Department and I cleaned toilets I had to clean all the part. They called me Colonel of the Urinal, Flush Gordon, but my job was I worked for the park department and I had this little 3-wheeler Cushman and I would drive from on the sidewalk because I was only 13 from park to park to park, and I'd have to clean. And on the back of my little Cushman was like a little tailgate lummy, and I had like my chemicals and my my mop and my bucket and all my cleaning supplies. And that's what I drive, and I'd have to go in and clean the public bathrooms. Talk about a crappy job. Because the public don't care. Like, listen, at your house, you care whether you pee on the side of the seat or not.
And they still pee on the side of the seat. And even at your own house, you do it.
So, listen, people have, but when you're in the public, at the beach, when you're at Center Lake Beach in Warsaw, Indiana, and you've been swimming and drinking, and all of a sudden you go into the male's public bathroom and you're just peeing and you're looking around, and then all of a sudden your pee goes onto the floor because you're not really. You don't go get a paper towel, put some soap on it, wipe off the pee off the ground. You're like, man, this is a public bathroom. I don't care about some loser's going to be in here cleaning this in a little bit. Well, I was that loser. I had to clean public bathrooms. And again, they called me Flush Gordon and or Colonel of the Urinal. So what was your first job?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Burger King.
Really? For real?
Oh, no, Checkers.
Okay, before that, okay, so Checkers.
Did you do both or just Checkers?
I did Checkers, then Burger King.
Okay, so there's
Two.
two different jobs. Okay, then what?
I think Sweet Tomatoes.
Okay, there's 3.
Bell's.
4.
The store?
Yeah.
4.
Oh, I got fired from there, too.
Okay, 4.
What'd you do there?
No, hold on, we're just going to go through this.
I let my friend use my employee discount card within my probationary period, and they called me on camera. And I lied about it.
That's 4. Bells, getting fired with somebody using your employee discount card while you're on probation on camera. That's 4.
Yeah.
4.
Then
After Bells.
Then I started interning at the radio station, going to college, and then my next job after that was I paid out day laborers.
5. So you were like an account, like
I'd give them their checks at the end of the day.
Okay, so you were you worked at a temporary work agency.
Yeah.
And your job was when the guys got back from the job at the end of the day, you gave them their check.
That's right.
Okay, so that's job 5.
Must have loved you.
Yeah, you're the one dude they want to see. So anyway, 5. That might be your best job ever, where people liked you the most. They're like, man, once I see this dude at the end of the day, even if you're like an illegal immigrant and you don't even know anything, you're like, I know that this guy here is the one that tells me to get in the truck, and and looks and watches me all day as I work. Like that's the boss man, the foreman. He's kind of a dick. But the guy here, this Jewish guy, at the end of the day when I'm done, right before I, walk home or whatever, he gives me my money.
Did you roll up into the field on a horse and pay them that way, or did they come to to a business?
They had to come to the business. So anyway, was that 4 or 5?
I'm
5.
not sure.
That's 5. That's 5.
5 all day.
Okay. Then after the check, the pay the immigrants their check gig, which was gig 5. What was gig 6?
I worked at an after-school program where I watched the kids.
Babysitting? Pro babysitter?
No, I mean after-school program. It's it's stressful.
I can only imagine. God,
what grade?
That was
what
before.
grade?
That was before weed was legal.
K through 5.
Oh my God!
In the hood.
Oh my God, that's job 7. Hood babysitter.
Then I was security at the Improv.
Number 8. That's job 8. So we work in the backstage. You're like, sir, I need to see your backstage pass.
No. I was in the front, can I see your ID kind of thing.
Okay, like an usher.
did
And then
you quit that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, after a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was because I finally got full time at the radio station.
All right, so that would have been job 9.
Yes.
So radio. Okay, so you worked 8 other jobs before you got into radio.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think we all. What was your first job?
I was kind of like a do boy janitor at a warehouse, and
Come a long way.
when I was 14.
All right.
Thanks.
Like at your dad's warehouse or another warehouse?
No, at another warehouse. My dad told me I needed to get a job in the summer.
How old were you?
14.
Yeah.
I had to take the bus.
I was 12.
Holy cow.
Yeah, my mom and dad made me start working at 12.
You were cleaning toilets at 12?
Yes, I had to. First of all, I had to get on my 10-speed and ride it 4 miles from my house to where the Warsaw Park Department, headquarters was. We live 4 miles, because the Warsaw Park Department headquarters has this big pole barn and this little office. It's got its own facility. That's where all the workers go. So I had to drive to this Warsaw Park Department warehouse, and I had to ride my bike to the Warsaw Park Department warehouse. When I, and let me then work all day, and then ride back home for $2.38 an hour. That's what minimum wage was.
You could buy 2 gallons of milk for that back in the day.
I know. I'm just saying though. I made $2 and it might have been $2.74. This would have been in 1977. Right. So I wonder what the minimum wage was back in 1970. 1977 was the first year that I worked.
$2.30.
That's what I made, Dan. That's what I made an hour.
That's unbelievable.
So after 8 hours, I'd make $10. Then I'd have to pedal my ass back home and get ready for either football or, summer football, because, starting Lemmy in 8th or 9th grade, you have summer workouts.
Oh, of course.
And literally that, you have to be there every day at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and you do a 5 to 7 straight conditioning. It was just, and like the rules in Indiana stated like you couldn't even have a football on the field. It was just conditioning, which sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, so all of June and all of July, I had to work, 40 being cleaning. I had to get up at like 5 in the morning. My mom always had a little breakfast for me. I had to be, Warsaw Park Department hours were 7 to 4 with a 15-minute break at 10, a 15-minute break at 2, and then lunch 11:30 to 12:30. So, like, I had to do all that. Plus, I was with men, like I was with 40 and 50-year-old men that had worked for the Warsaw Park Department for like 30 years. This was their job. They were going to retire from it. You know what I'm saying? Let me?
Yeah.
And then here comes
you at 12.
punk ass little kid. Boy, did I man up! I would sit there and watch them play cards during lunch because they play this game called euchre.
Yeah, euchre.
Yeah, they play euchre, and it's where the jacks are the head card. Are you familiar with euchre?
Yeah, I played it a couple times.
That's the big. So you watch them play, and then you learn euchre because literally you watch them play during their lunch hour all day, every day. So then you go, hey, can I play? Well, can I get in on a game? And you're with some old timer, right? Well, you can make a lot of rookie mistakes.
Of course.
Like, for instance, if the guy led the right, and I had, and it was the Bauer, the suit was diamonds, so he comes out with the jack of diamonds, and I had like a 9 of diamonds, but I threw the left Bauer, the jack of hearts, which is the second most powerful card.
Yeah, that's your trump card, pretty much.
That would be like a big rookie mistake. And so the guy said, "Yeah, you can play, but if you make any really bad rookie mistakes, I'm gonna literally beat your ass." And I made a bad mistake right in. He didn't beat my ass, but he was like real mean to me and like would make me do the. When I would go out with the crew, I always had the worst job because they would send a crew out to the park and one guy had to clean the toilets, one guy had to empty and pick up the trash, and then one guy had to mow. They'd have a mowing crew, which that was the best to be on. Yeah, when you're on the mowing crew, man, you're on a big rider mower, just, mowing the hell, getting to see the chicks, mowing the park. But if you're on either trash or bathroom detail, that was the worst.
Well,
and I never got to be, because I wasn't, they said you had to be 16 to run it. That's what they told me. You have to be 16 to run the mowers. So from ages 12, 13, 14, and 15, for those 4 years, I had to sit there and just do any. And then once I got 16, the guy who ran the park department didn't like me because, the mayor was my mom's best friend, and he went down there and told him to hire me.
Oh, really?
That's how it goes.
So
Yeah,
you're favored?
Yeah, well, it was a shove down. I was a force. So, but the mayor didn't keep up on how they were treating me. He just, made them hire me. Well, that was the worst thing ever. When the mayor tells you to get hired, then they just put you on because they think that you're, somebody special, or you think you're all that because the mayor got your job for you. Then you just get the worst jobs, cleaning toilets and picking up trash and dumping trash barrels and raking. Then after that, they take you to the girls' softball diamond, and you'd have to rake the whole entire diamond to get the rocks out of it.
So you're used to that now.
Well,
from the track.
Track, you just got to pick them up. A baseball diamond is flat. You could never do that. You couldn't rake a track.
I gotcha.
So to speak.
When did you when you found the baby in the toilet or whatever? Was that when you were 12?
No, I was 14.
You found a baby in a toilet?
Yes. I'm clean. It was Pike Lake. I'm cleaning the toilets, and I go into the girls' toilet, and the girls were pigs. They would put their rags, their maxi pad used rags. They would put them on the wall because they still had a little adhesion left from their panties. So there was still a little sticky stuff on the back. They'd put them all on the walls. You'd see these used rags, or they'd take these. They put the tampons.
They just put them on the wall like a decoration.
Yeah, they would take their tampons and sling them against the wall. So all the bathrooms were made out of concrete, so you could bring a hose and just hose down the walls.
Disgusting.
You'd have to hose down the walls, and then you'd have to get this special cleaning solvent and then you had to wash the wall with this boat brush and this special solvent if they had thrown their rags or tampons against the wall. Like that wall had to be cleaned with a special,
What girl does that?
People
from Warsaw, Indiana?
25-year-old crackheads from Warsaw, Indiana that goes to the public beach.
It's like throwing a water balloon at the wall. I don't understand.
I mean, women. Meanwhile, dudes, man, I'm talking about the ins and outs of cleaning bathrooms. Dudes,
They'll do anything not to talk about your wedding.
But listen, dudes, they just pee on the wall. Dudes just pee.
Right.
Like dudes always seem to poop decently.
We don't sling poop on the walls.
But women, man, they're just pigs, and it's not all menstrual related. Like they're pigs when it comes to pooping too. But I walked into the Pike Lake girls' bathroom in like June of 1979. I was in 8th grade, 9th grade. Might have been 80. It might have been June of 80. So I walk into the Pike Lake Pavilion, it was called, and I walk in there because the bathrooms are within. Bathrooms are on the back end of the pavilion, and I walk in there, and the back stall, there was 2 stalls and then a kind of a bigger stall that was for handicap, like it was 2 regular stall, then there was a bigger stall that you could get a wheelchair in there.
It had a sink in it?
Yeah, it had a sink in it, and it's just more wheel. It's the handicap deal. And it was a little more primitive back in 1980. It was just basically a bigger stall and a sink. That's it. And that's all they have now, but now they have baby changing stations and all that kind of stuff in there. Well, I go and, they have a sink in the handicap one. There's usually not a sink in the other 2 stalls. Those are just regular stalls, Like, basically a toilet and the automatic toilet paper dispenser, which I had to have a special key to get in because you just couldn't leave regular toilet. You can't, think about it. When you go to airports and things like that, they just don't have regular toilet paper. They have it highly regulated so that, people aren't, and the reason why they do that is because 1, people will use too much and waste, and 2, they'll stuff it down the toilet and cause a clog up. So it's when those big toilet paper dispensers, how archaic and plastic with the little that's big business, and all parks have that. So you have to have a special key, and you have to go in and reload all the toilet paper. And then I look in the sink, and there is this thing that was about the size of a small pineapple.
Oh.
And I walk up to it, and it's a baby. I mean, and you can literally see it's a baby. It's not just a mass. It's not just a mass full of women's, fetal tissue. It's a baby.
Is it moving?
No, it's dead. It's dead. And it's laying there on the sink, and there's blood everywhere, and I'm so I don't even know what to do. So I get on the record. They had truck to truck, like police radios. So I could be in my truck and I could be like Bubba 104 to Larry 105. And then Larry was like, whatever his number was, 105. Be like, yeah, can you come over here? I got, that's how you could talk truck to truck because there's no cell phones or anything like that. So I radioed into the office, and her name was Letha, Letha Hammond, and she was like 139 or something. And I wasn't, I was such a low man on the totem pole, I didn't even have a number. Like all the full timers had, they had Dick Hammond was 121. That was the boss. 121. No, I'm sorry. Dick Hammond was 105, and he was the boss because the mayor was 101, and the chief of police was 102, and the head of the street department was 103, and the head of the park department was 104. So and they only had 25 channels, so the top 25 people in the city had their little numbers. Well, Bubba Clem, some seasonal guy, that's I don't have a number. So when I was supposed to talk on the radio, I was just supposed to say my name and then who I was looking for. So since Letha Hammond was 106 because she was the park department office. Dick Hammond and the leader of the park, his radio in his truck was 105, but then they had 106 bass, like the bass. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, yeah.
So I'm like, Bubba to 106 base. And she's like, 106 base, this is Letha. Bubba, what do you need? I go, I'm out here at Pike Lake in the girls' bathroom, and there's a dead baby in the sink. What do you want me to do? All of a sudden, man, 103 was the police chief, okay? And they listen to they monitor this radio. You know what I'm saying? This is like
so they were up on it.
Right. So the next thing I hear, I was like, guy didn't know my name. He's like, who's the guy at Pike Lake Center, Pike Lake bathroom who found a dead baby? Who is it? I go, it's Bubba. He goes, 103 to Bubba. And that was the police chief. I'm like, Bubba here. He goes, do not touch anything. Get your mop and get your stuff. Do not clean anything. Do not touch anything. Just get your mop and your stuff and get out of there and lock. And see, those bathrooms, because I had the master key. Let me to lock the bathroom.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're cleaning the bathrooms, got to be super important. You got to have the master key. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're important.
I had my Cushman and my master key, and my cleaning supplies in the back. And it was like, so the police chief. Like, Lummy, the police chief would never talk to me.
No.
For no reason. Right? 103 to Bubba. This is Bubba. Yes, secure that area. Do not do any further cleaning. Get out of that area and lock it up. And I swear to God, within, Lummy, 40 seconds, because, Warsaw's not that big. Within 40 seconds, there was like 3 squad cars. And they all come walking up, and they're like, I'm like, now I'm the witness now, right? I mean, they're like asking me, where's it at, Bubba? It's in there. Okay, well, unlock it for us.
Did they come with sirens?
Yeah, they came. Hell yeah, Bob. That's big news in Warsaw, Indiana.
Is that
there's no shootings or break-ins or there's like nothing at Warsaw, Indiana. So when you find a dead baby at Pike Lake, man, that's big time.
So that was a big whodunit.
Yes. Next thing I know, there's like 4 cop cars, the mayor, the chief of police, Dick Hammond, the head of the park department, like 2 ambulances, 6 squad cars, and like some case workers and all this kind of stuff going on. I was like, they're like, where did you? Was it breathing? Have you touched it? And like, no, I've not touched it. Well, how'd you know it was dead? Well, because it seemed like it wasn't moving around or nothing. But I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. I was scared of it. It was like it looked like a little alien sitting there.
It would be traumatic. Did they offer you any like psychological support?
No, hell
This
no.
was 1977.
No, you know what they said?
They said tough enough.
You know what they said? Hey, Cinder Lake needs clean. Get your ass over there. So they didn't give a crap if I need counseling or anything like that.
No support
Get
groups.
your fat ass back on your bike and pedal home.
Did they ever figure out who it belonged to?
No, they never.
No, really?
They never did.
They almost always do.
They never did. They never
That's
found,
crazy.
and it was a big story in the newspaper in the Warsaw Times Union. Lummy, and I had my name.
Oh, really?
Park worker Todd Clem. Is the person that found the body. Mr. Clem or Todd then called the Warsaw Park Department base unit, and then the city of Warsaw Police Chief Steve Foster then quickly intervened and dispatched his units out there.
I'm sure some big girl was sweating for a few weeks.
Oh, I mean, and but Dana, how unhealthy or how traumatic is that to a woman to have miscarried something? It looked
like it was it looked premature, right? It didn't look like it was a 38, 39, 40 weeker, right?
No, it looked
like 20.
No, it looked like 30.
30. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, it had fingers. And
yeah, but they have fingers.
But it had a big old its head was super elongated.
Uh-huh.
And
got
like
squeezed out.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. I don't think whoever killed it. Like I don't think
they didn't kill it. They probably had a spontaneous, premature miscarriage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I don't think it was anybody
malicious.
Killed anybody. I think the baby came out dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking. But Dan, at that point, don't you have to? I mean, if you're a girl and you have a miscarriage at the Pike Lake public bathrooms in 1978, like, how do
should
you
flush.
but how do you get it? Like, does it all just come out?
It
Or do
comes
you
out
have-
in stages. You know,
there's like
the
this-
baby comes out, and then it's connected to the umbilical cord connects to the placenta. And usually, when the baby is not surviving, the placenta releases pretty quickly because a lot of times it's a placenta problem. Like the placenta wasn't feeding the baby correctly.
What I'm saying is,
so
like,
it's not attached well.
Nothing. When she walked out of there, she could have wiped up and like.
Was there placenta in the?
Yes.
Okay, so the whole thing came out.
Yes.
Yeah,
There was
it was ready to come out.
There was like a bag the size of a small piece of paper beside it, and they said that was the placenta, and I was like,
And of course, he had all of it.
Yeah, and of course, like, everywhere I went around Warsaw for the next 2 months, they're like, man, Bubba, you're the one that found that dead baby? Yeah. What it looked like? It looked like an alien. That's what I would say to him.
That's a good answer.
And my dad, I remember at dinner, he's like, man, why didn't you just lock that bathroom up and let somebody else discover it?
Well, is he mad at you that you told him?
He was just like, man, the guys at work are really, whizzing me of the fact that my son's the one that found the dead baby.
Wow.
Jesus.
It's all your fault, Bubba.
It's all my fault.
Jesus, it's not fair.
Whatever. So anyway, listen, we're way late, Lummy. We're
Yes,
way
we are.
late. And no, I didn't answer your question about me getting married. I'm not gonna. Like,
I got you.
I'm pissed you didn't tell me you were engaged.
but I'm not, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not real. I mean, it's just
There's a
like,
ring.
I gave her a ring, and I was just like, "Hey,
That's gauged.
we'll figure it out one of these days." Like, that's what I told her. It's like, "Hey, listen, you know what? We'll figure it out." It's I don't know. I can't. Listen, we're not gonna set a date or nothing. We're just gonna hang out. So we'll figure it out.
Do a Vegas trip.
One of these 2, 3, 4 summers from now, we'll figure out something we can do.
2030.
Yeah. So whatever. Like, but it was the big whodunit at the Eric Andre concert. I did marry somebody here yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did have a marriage ceremony.
Really?
Yeah. Well, look.
Yeah, behind you there.
Yeah,
Jen.
see behind you, we had the little what's that called?
Kind of like an altar.
Yeah, like
That's
an arch.
Arch.
Yeah, like a wedding arch. Then had some chairs. Yeah, so there was a wedding performed here yesterday. I have to get caught up. Seth, you know what? I think we're on your question, aren't we?
I think we were still going down the 15 jobs that I had before radio.
Well, we can close that out now because once you got in radio, then I just need to know the jobs before he got.
So 7 pre-jobs.
No,
pre-radio.
eight pre-jobs, and I had like maybe 6 pre-jobs. I can go through my stupid ass jobs, or no, let's not. Nobody cares. I used to fry chicken at Indian Acres in Terre Haute on the weekends. I was like, they would take this big 38-foot trailer that had all these fryers in there, and I would fry chicken. And and then they would cater the big family reunions or the corporate meetings or things like that.
Oh, really? Nice.
Because you can cater the potato salad and the macaroni salad and all the you can the beans, and you can pre-make that at the Indian Acres deli and catering. You can pre-make that at the shop and bring it, but you can't pre-make fried chicken. Because it just doesn't stay, and you don't know how much you're gonna, you don't know how much they're gonna need. Because a lot of times there'd be some real fried chicken eaters, and other times there wouldn't be. But I worked the fryer. I was a fried chicken fryer.
Did you get to take some home though?
Oh,
Did
I
it
always
need it?
Yeah, but you know what I would do when after I had to get all. Clean it all up. That was part of the job, is not only frying it all day, but then cleaning up and frying chicken. Frying 300 or 400 pieces of chicken creates a mess everywhere. The floor's a mess because everything's splattering around. The walls are a mess and everything. So I would be, I knew like my last batch of chicken. So I'd give my last batch of chicken. I'd start cleaning up. But then I'd take the chicken that I wanted, which is usually like 4 big white breasts, and I would dip them in, but I would double bread them.
And then I'd eat the skin.
Yeah. But I would double bread. So the last batch that went in was actually what I was going to take home. While I was cleaning up the floors and the walls, my chicken would be frying. And then by the time I got everything, it only took you about 15, 20 minutes or so to clean everything. Your chicken would be done. And then you'd put it in a little styrofoam because you're trying to get the hell out of there because you're not the guy. I didn't have to drive the chicken truck. I could leave. I just had to show up at to the park. I didn't have to drive the truck back to Indian Acres. Thank God. The guy who owned it did. So, Lummy, after I was done cleaning and frying up my chicken, they let me go. They give me like my $50-$60.
Nice.
Cash.
Even better.
Hell yeah. And then I had like 4 big pieces of double breaded chicken. Like that's the best. Double breaded. Double breaded. Have you guys tried double breaded anything?
No, I don't even know what that means.
You ever had a double baked potato?
Well, double breaded, Dan, is they actually breed. I'm sorry, they bread whatever you're getting, and then they re-dip it in their egg sauce or butter or whatever, and then they bread it again.
This is like extra thick.
Yeah, it's extra. You really have to be an astute fat ass like myself to understand what double breaded. Like only real fat asses know what double breaded is.
We didn't have that in my house. I just never heard of it.
Well, I mean, I was the guy that was doing the bread, and so I could,
You could double bread.
I engineered it. I thought maybe I don't know. I maybe invented it. I maybe invented double breading. Man, I mean, we need to put that on my wiki immediately.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
How much Reno? 55 months.
Hours, Chickney, Dawn, Hemdorf, Big Buck, Good Morning, Heather Wiz. Neil Montplaisir, Triple Lips, Beach Metal.
Yeah. What's up, Clifford Tigger? Jay Chaluga. Good morning.
Chickney. Why'd you call that one? Deep Darkness. Dawn, Hemdorf. Kicker. Jacket Dog. Down in Orlando. Manson. Virgo. Longwood. D240Z. Black Eye Kelly. Snizzle, Slow Air. Are we really DEFCON 2? I think I know that. Bama Boy, Roberto Perez, Triple Lips.
I'll read it.
I know. Detroit. Just call the office. 8 address. Jelly, True God, 2011. Tyler Guru, wife Michelle. Jim Schmitz. Dak Prescott got traded to the Dolphins. I'm pro-human, yes.
I think that's fake news.
Is that fake news?
I don't know. Seth?
Come on, man.
For who? Yeah, they're gonna get rid of Tua. They're gonna get rid of Tua. Think that Dak Prescott's it better?
Maybe if Tua's hurt. I think it's too late, Matthew 2:46. Who got married yesterday?
Dan, we're just getting ready to go the fuck on in the air. We can't get into long form discussions 32 seconds before.
I know it's long form answer, sorry.
I mean, that's probably on air shit.
Okay. I'll ask again. But it's okay.
Were you sleeping in and missed the first hour of the show?
Are you ready?
Don't worry, it's all at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Welcome. Myself, Lummy, Zath, Dr. Dan, Rat, Macho Man, all here today. A lot of us got together on Friday to go to the Eric Andre show that I was a guest of. We had Eric on, a couple, was it 2 weeks?
I think it was a week before.
A week or so before. Now, how did the whole process? Zeth? I think it went through you, the process of booking and the logistics and who got a hold of whom. I think that was all handled through your department.
I think that his producer, I think they just emailed the show, and I feel like I just had checked the email quickly and reached out to you to see if it was something you wanted to do.
Right. And so you were kind of the point person, and if you're familiar, and if you, I'm sure there was probably a large amount of Bubba Army that listened to the show by various whatever means. Hopefully, Florida Radio 103.1 in Orlando. If you're in Orlando or an Orlandoing, how do you say a person from Orlando? An Orlandoan?
Orlandoan?
Are you an Orlandoan? That's a tough one. Say it, Seth. If you're from Orlando, what are you?
I mean, I think you're just from Orlando.
No,
I don't think you're an Orlandolean.
I think you're an Orlandoan. Dan,
I think you're a Central Floridian, right? I mean, I was in Orlando for 10 years. We didn't say anything stupid like this.
You're
Tampanian? Get out of here. None of that stuff applies.
Okay.
Sorry. Are you a Tampanian, Bubba?
No, I'm actually a Warsaw, Indianian, and you know what I'm saying? I'm a Warsaw. I'm a Warsaw.
No, you've been here.
I'm a Warsaw.
You've been here longer.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here since. You know what? You're right. I only spent 18 years in Warsaw.
You've been in Tampa like 25, right?
Well, I got here in '92. So what would that put me
like
at?
33.
Yeah, I've been here 33 years. You think, man, I start getting treated a little better around here?
Yeah, you think?
What do you mean after 33 years you finally made it to the Eric Andre show?
Well, there you go.
Where they were chanting to see your pee-pee.
I binged it. It said they're Orlandians or Orlando.
Okay,
These are
fine.
the two names that they call.
Back to what Seth said. Who cares? It sounds stupid. Thank you very much.
Problem.
So anyway, Eric, I think most people that probably listen to the show, by whatever means, didn't know who Eric Andre was before you heard me. Now, this is just true Bubba Army. I'm not saying that Eric Andre doesn't have a larger following than me, because I think he clearly does, digitally.
He's been on this. He's been on the silver screen. I mean,
sure, no, exactly. But a lot of people,
he's well known,
very well known, and he's coming to Tampa. I don't know how in the hell of all the people in Tampa they picked me. Maybe let me. I mean, it has to be a guy that You're
the funnest guy in Tampa.
Well,
Bubba.
I don't know if it's I don't know what the prerequisite. Zeth, do you have any?
A lot of people said that he's a stern mark, so
Okay.
he is.
that's probably where his familiarity with you is from.
Okay, all right. So he knew in his little Stern world that he lived in. Hey, man, if I ever go to Tampa, I need to go Bubba, because everybody that listened to Stern. While I was with Howard for 5 years, and then subsequently thereafter, Howard, continues to talk about us from time to time.
Yeah.
Like when we go to the Ronnie wedding and things like that, we're on good terms with Howard. And, if you're a casual Howard listener, you maybe associate Tampa with Bubba. And so I think that's what happened. I had him on the air. I did some research on the guy. I looked at some of his shows, his live shows, Lummy, because that's what we were being a part of.
Correct.
The Eric Andre live interview show. I don't know. I don't even know what they call his shows. Just probably the Eric Andre show, right?
Yeah, I think it's just the Eric Andre live show.
Right, live show. Like when you're, if on your ticket, what would it say, So where he asked us to be part of his live show when he comes to Tampa. Well, I agree. Zeth is getting it all handled as far as having Eric on the air to promote it, and then Babyface bought 2 sets of tickets that we gave away, and it was. I will tell you this, man. To me, from where from being on stage perspective, looking out into the crowd, it looked sold out.
I think it was. We couldn't really get in.
What do you mean?
It was so sold out because it was standing room only that me, Babyface, Dark Match D, Bob Cook, a couple other people, we had to stand pretty much at the doorway.
Well, that's what happens when you're rolling with 15 people, Lummy.
Hold on, at the doorway, like as in by the curbside?
No, like to walk into the the arena, or whatever you want to call it.
So they're getting trampled by everybody that's walking in. Pretty much.
It's jammed in so much that you're watching it from the door jam of the entrance into the facility.
Correct.
Thank God you're tall.
Oh, maybe no one else could watch it from there. They all had to go watch it on TV. I could see over.
Did you have to put Babyface on your shoulders?
Now was somebody said
one of those little things in the front.
Were now here's what you don't understand. So it's me, Zeth, and Merch Crick. Zeth meets me here, because he didn't want to drive to Ybor. Who would? And we really had it very efficient, did we not, Zeth? I mean, you couldn't get any more efficient than what we were.
It was
as far as people. Some people, went and parked and paid for parking and schlepped on down. Bitch, we pulled up within 5 feet of the door entrance.
Well, they dropped us off in the back alley, like we all predicted.
Like we're rock stars.
But I will say the biggest, the most flummoxing moment of the evening came, I think, right as we were getting dropped off. We were going to go. I had to meet the tour manager. We had to get all the passes and stuff. And Babyface calls me and says, hey, are you guys here? And I was like, yeah, we'll be there in a couple of minutes. We were really there. And he goes, all right. He's like, there's a really long line to get in here, and I really don't like waiting in line. So, is there any way that you could get me in the back? And I was like,
Zeth has a mini panic attack going on, telling me, oh my God, now Babyface wants me to try to get him line cuts and all this kind of deal. And I'm just trying to get Bubba into the venue and get us checked in correctly. And my phone's being blown up by Babyface. Refusing to stand in line, and here's the thing, Lummy, they were super. They gave me a pass,
nice.
They gave Merch Crick a pass, and they gave Zeth a pass, and then they at that point they're like, nope, we don't want anybody else back here. Like it's very limited. So
I asked for extra passes, and I got shut down.
So Zeth, they tell us. Listen, you three are the only ones we want back here. We keep it really, really highly regulated back here. And so what is that? They're telling you, that's all you're getting. Zeth says, hey, I got 2 guys I'm trying to get in. Can I get a couple passes? he was working on trying to get red a pass. At that point,
I had to hassle for my own pass.
I know, but I will tell you that Zeth was trying to wrangle up passes. I watched him backstage talk to managers, trying to wrangle up passes, and they were not being cool to him, which was causing him anxiety. And I'm like, don't even worry about it, Zeth.
No, I think it was more so the venue than Eric's people, but they were very, very weird. Like, they were very anti-content. And maybe that's just the rules that they were told beforehand, but they were kind of dicks.
Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate everybody that made it out on my team. Me and Zeth and Merch Crick had it so easy. Like, it was so seamless and so great. But I know that a lot of you, it was a pain in the ass to get there, Lummy and Bob Cook and Dark Match Steve. And I wish they listen, I've been to some venues or been a guest of a rock band or stuff like that, and they're like, hey man, bring everybody back from the station. We want to say hi to all of them. Like, there are just some people that run a real tight backstage, and some people that are a little bit cooler about it and relaxed. And this was a tight backstage, and it was stressing Seth out because he was trying to get his boys in. Trying to get Lummy in, trying to get Brian tickets faster. You were trying to get it all done for him.
And we were also sitting in the green room where it was Eric Andre and his whole staff, which is, and just to be fair, they're all a bunch of weirdos, and they're all getting ready to go on stage, and it was like there was a weird energy back there.
Oh, there was a lot. And then we got Rhonda Shear over there, and she has no idea why she's there, and I have no idea why I'm there. I mean, honest to God, I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again where I go. Obviously, I'm not. Look at the outcome. Jesus Christ.
The outcome was brilliant.
Making me do something I was not planning to do.
But you already had done it.
I'm just saying, publicly I hadn't.
Well, how mad were you at Merch Crick that she said that? Did you give her the look?
Said what?
When you introduced herself and said she was your fiance.
No, you don't want to be that big of a dick.
Lummy, here's what happened.
If she wants to say that, she can.
Okay.
I'm whatever.
Lummy, I was back there when they introduced themselves to Eric Andre and all that.
Yeah.
And I know Bubba said something about, he said Rhonda Shear was his girlfriend. But from what I heard, somebody introduced, that's my girlfriend. And then, Eric went at the same time and was like, oh, I'm his fiance. And Eric goes, whoa, you guys might want to get that one figured out. And I thought then when Eric started drilling you guys about getting married on stage, I felt like it came from that moment. Unless this is something he just plug and plays for every one of his shows where he tries to get somebody proposed or show their ween.
But I don't think he got. I've watched enough of his stuff. I don't think he's in the proposal gimmick as much as he's in the ween gimmick. His show's based around ween.
Yes,
but I don't know that every show he picks out somebody to propose to. I don't think he does that.
Well, I feel like that confusion, and I'll be honest, I didn't know that you guys were engaged, and because you go, oh well, I've just been with her so long that I just let her think that we're engaged. So I really didn't think anything of it.
What if she's listening right now? Are we talking smack?
You
bitch?
said that right in front of her.
Well, what I'm just saying, don't. It sounds worse.
That's
the
what
second
you said
time.
to Eric Andre.
It sounds worse the second time on the air. Don't rehash my stiffness.
So I didn't know anything that had happened. So when Eric Andre calls you guys up to either propose or show your pee-pee, I just felt like it was a great moment.
There's a lot of pee-peeing stuff
Yeah, there is.
You know what I should have done? Had I known, listen to this. This would have been the best. They make really, really, Dana. I don't know if the medical industry there's ever a need for this, or it's just for costume effect. But I think they make very lifelike prosthetic penis things.
Yes, they do. They've been working on it for years.
Yeah. So you can. What are you? Let me. So Dan, too bad we couldn't have found a really nice lifelike strap-on prosthetic device that I wear and that looks so real. And then Lummy, I've been the guy that kind of takes it and shows about half of it down.
Yep.
And there's still about 3 or 4 inches left on the deal. You just take it and show it from the base on you, but you never show the tip.
Yep.
You got that much. You're working with that much, and but it's prosthetic. Nobody would have ever known. And then all of Tampa Bay would be talking about. And virally, Lummy, everybody would be talking about how I got a big D.
That would be good.
D.
Yeah.
So
now everybody knows I got a small D because and you know what? When I'm nervous and I'm on stage and I'm maybe on, I'm on. I'm on here. I'm
Yeah,
not
of course.
just. I'm the entertainment on light is on. Your penis is scared, and it's trying. It's not trying to really pound its chest and be out there when you're under those circumstances on stage in a public event, a little bit nervous. When you get nervous, your penis just doesn't really lay nice.
No, it wants to hide.
Even Dan, who's got naturally a laying nice penis, I'm sure, Dan, there's instances where your penis, your big penis gets a little scared and he retreats.
Rare, but it happens.
Rare.
Well, mine was retreated, so there was no option of me showing my penis. So, anyway, if we were to rehash Eric Andre, for you guys, we had no idea how it was gonna go. How do you think it went? Be honest.
I thought from where I was.
For the brand or myself. What do you think? I made myself look stupid? Do you think I did a good job? Do you think it did more damage than good? Did it expose me just being a stupid ass old guy?
No.
Did I look hip? What?
From where I was at, obviously with the majority of the crowd, and when I walked in, I go, "This is not a Bubba Army crowd." Me and Bob Cook walked in together. Bob Cook's telling me how he's the oldest guy there, and we both said this is not a Bubba Army crowd, so I'm wondering what the reaction's going to be when you come up.
Right.
It was a lot of cheers.
Well, I thought I was going to get booed.
So everyone kind of thought it was going to be like a 50-50.
Yeah. I thought I was going to get booed. But I think really it's not me as much as it's just on Eric's crowd. They welcome everybody into at first, and then they get stiff later. But I think they don't. I think that they know that they got to work. That they should welcome the guest and make them feel welcome. Nope, don't boo them, and because we got a lot in store for you, buddy. Because we know what's going to happen, but you don't. Everybody that goes to an Eric Andre show probably knows he has a template that he does.
They didn't know. They didn't know what was going to happen.
Who, the crowd?
Yeah.
Really?
Really.
So
I think he only has those certain skits that he does almost every one, from the torture rack and the ranch and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the ranch and the food comedy is everyone knows he's going to do that, but nobody had any idea. The fans didn't know. Nobody was tipped off beforehand, except for maybe his stage people.
Well, I'm not insinuating that you guys told him anything.
No, but you were saying that his fans already had an idea, but I don't think they did at all.
Well, I think they have an idea that you're going to bring a guy out there, a local guy, maybe a local celebrity or a local whatever, maybe a national celebrity, and you're going to make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he's not going to he's not going to kill you, but you just roll with it. I think I rolled with it pretty well.
You did.
I thought it was great, Bubba. I mean, I think it was great for quote unquote the brand. I think you did a great job. I think it was just fun being in that kind of atmosphere. It was like a concert mixed with going to wrestling. I mean, the crowd was electric. It was just the whole thing. I mean, just from my experience, I had a great time. I think it worked out perfectly for everybody involved.
We got a little short on our YouTube channel, which of course is at the Bubba Army. They have my entire Brett, I think you got my entire. I think there might be a short, a little teaser.
He had to edit out all the dongs,
and then my appearance on what we're speaking about on the Eric Andre show this past Friday at the Ritz Ybor downtown Ybor. I'll do some words, and then I'll maybe play a little bit of it.
Bubba, will you tell us how you proposed to Erica? Will you just tell us that
right now?
No, just when we come back.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay, I mean that's.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Bob. Stopping goes Steve, 71 months.
Thank you, Mama.
Congrats.
Hey, congrats.
Congrats on engagement or your mom getting married. I don't know. What is a congrats on? I've said too much. I'm sorry.
Webcam's correct, Chris.
Lummy, what email did you send that to? I don't have anything.
Let me check.
It's not, I mean,
It's not a big deal.
I know. Did Stein hit you up, Bubba, that you worked him in?
No.
Really?
That's pretty shitty, isn't it?
I texted him.
Because I solidly worked him in.
Oh,
like,
dude, you shoehorned it in. I texted him.
Like, there's no way, like, he could say, oh, you just kind of... I mean, I fucking made it a point to you know...
No, Bubba, I texted him that night, and I go, hey, Bubba, I worked you in. I said, we're just waiting for the clean audio.
Right.
I said, we're not sure if he said, I know Alex Stein or Alex Stein, but...
We'll have it soon.
Right, and then I sent him the YouTube thing with the timestamp, and that was that.
He gave me like a little heart emoji thing.
Yeah, he hearted mine, but he didn't say anything.
Motherfucker, you better take that clip.
Which that audio of him saying Alex Stein's very, very clean. I mean,
he needs to take that clip and fucking put it on his, on all his shit. Eric Andre, you mentions my name on stage. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I see why.
And attach me on it. You see why what?
No, I see why he likes Eric Andre so much, but I don't think they're similar at all.
I don't either.
But I think that Alex could probably do a fucking wild ass hour stage show without showing dongs. Lummy, how long did it go for?
How much dong was there?
Is that a lot of dong?
Damn, a lot, man. A lot.
I think like 10, but almost 11 o'clock.
Holy shit! A fucking 2-hour show?
Well, hold on, I need to ask you on the air. What did they do?
Well, a lot of dong stuff.
Well, 3 more guys showed dongs.
Ranch dressing, chugging.
Hold on. Just save it, okay?
Dan, they go to Bubba. They're like, "Hey, Bubba, we just know you took a recent trip to Italy," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "We got some pictures of it," and they're just fucking dong after dong after dong, and it's just not what I was expecting at all. But again, that's that plug and play stuff that I just think they do with any guest they have.
All right, TJ.
I mean, and these dongs were fucking.
You have dong envy?
No, I mean they were just overly massive, like nothing even big, just like big and engorged.
What's that?
What?
What was big and engorged?
The penises that he was showing on stage.
Where's Dan right now?
Well, the one guy from where I was at, he was.
The first guy that got whipped?
No, the guy after Bubba.
Oh, okay. We were in the back getting ready to leave, and we thought we heard Eric Andre say Bubba's name, and I was trying to get Bubba back up there, but it was just they said the wrong thing.
Wouldn't it be funny if Bubba just randomly walks back out?
What?
Seth was saying he thought he heard your name.
Yeah.
And if he just randomly walks back out.
They're Biden.
Yeah, like Biden.
Oh, you guys.
Do you want to hear all the times Hulk Hogan or Tucker Carlson called in?
I like that idea.
We have it all for you on BubbaArmyHQ.com. Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I think maybe Thursday, the pre-orders for the Bubba Army 2s. Oh, Seth's mic not on. I'm sorry, Seth. Sorry about that.
They're good. I wasn't.
And the Bubba Army slides.
All right.
And I don't know. I might keep it up for a week, maybe 2 weeks, but I'm gonna shut it down. So you're gonna have like a 2-week window, maybe a 1-week window to order your brand new Bubba Army 2s. They're gonna come in two different flavors. They're gonna come in the standard black and red, old school Jordan 86 kind of deal. By the way, they're low cut. And then they're going to have the Italian Wildwood, New Jersey inspired Dan flinging pizzas in the 80s. It's going to have the green, kind of the Italian green, red, and white. So they'll
three
be
beautiful colors together.
Two different varieties of the Bubba Army 2s, and then part of the Bubba Army 2 collection will be our first slide.
I can't wait.
And I guess these slide a lot of. I have a pair of slides. I don't wear them a lot, but if I'm just going out to my car or something like that, I'll just wear my slides casually.
Apparently, they're a huge turnoff for women.
Off?
Yeah.
Slides?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Especially if guys are wearing socks too.
I'm not trying to be Johnny Slide guy. So
yeah, socks and slides is not really a sexy look.
Yeah. Yeah, please, if you think you can spit game to a bitch, maybe you got so much game you can spit game to a girl wearing slides. I don't know a lot of guys. Yes, that's tough.
But that means she really likes you for you.
If you got a girl that likes you and wants to give you some hot ass over, and you got slides on,
the first time you meet her,
you're a better man than me, my friend. I'll tell you right now.
T-shirt Will 20. Congratulations, Merch Crick and Bubba.
So. Let's just. So I don't know.
Take us through the proposal.
There's love in the air this weekend. Gosh, there's dongs, there's weddings, there's engagements, there's all kinds of stuff. Where's I?
So
here's down on all.
Where's your family?
So it just.
Come on, baby.
Where I at? Where?
How did you decide?
It happened about 3 months ago, and I was just like, she had this. We had this ring designed. I had a
thought. There's a lot of thought that went into this.
She had a couple loose diamonds from various pieces of jewelry and rings that she had, and I had some smaller diamonds. And I'm like, she's like, let's let me, if we were to ever get engaged, I'd like to want to design a ring with these diamonds that we have. We probably save a lot of money and looks pretty cool because these are some pretty big diamonds. So I know August Stevenson International. It's in Palm Harbor, and it's invitation only. Like I've known, that's where I bought my Rolex. That's where I've bought.
That's your place.
That's my jeweler, and it's not open to the public. Like it's only referral only. It's like so. It's not literally. You just can't go there and
It's not like the piercing pagoda in the middle of the mall, right?
No.
Okay.
So. He's also very custom, and Steve was the original owner. He has handed the entire family. Dan works at the jewelry store. The entire family.
That's beautiful.
And he's now handed it down to his two oldest sons, who are they've been trained on how to be jewelers from their dad. Their dad has trained them how to.
It's like an apprenticeship.
Yeah, exactly. And, one guy and his wife is kind of the salesman, used to be Steve and his wife. And his kids now are carrying the tradition. The girls are in the front selling, the guys are in the back, working. And we designed this ring and, that was going to be our engagement ring. And they got it done. And I just gave it to her. So there you are. Here you go.
Whoa. You just give it to her. Come on,
Not
dude.
true.
That's such BS.
Okay, hold
Come on, dude.
Hold on. I swear, hold on. You get we could call her live on the air.
Just tossed it to her and said, "Hey, here you go, Merch Crick."
Come on, Sponge. Now's not the time to backpedal on us. Tell us if did you get down on the knee? Or was that tough?
Cat's already out of the bag at this point.
Nope, I didn't.
No knee.
No knee. Okay, so
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Was
I'm
there a
not gonna
meal
lie.
or you're like Longhorn? I mean, was there someplace?
No, there was just she picked it up. And I gave her the money to pay for it. She picked it up, and I'm like, "There you go." You know,
was it in Indiana at that one bridge?
Now we have decided.
What state?
We have decided that maybe this summer or next summer,
Do it at Mike Pence Park.
Planning something at this particular bridge in Warsaw, Indiana.
I knew it.
So you can jump off afterwards?
No, it's just a little river underneath it. You would paralyze yourself. It's like 2 feet deep with rocks.
Oh,
he's not joking because Merch Crick, when we were riding back in the Uber, and she was describing Eric Andre's penis, she did reference that she wants to get married in Indiana.
You know what?
And it was like the biggest smile of like a 16-year-old small town girl.
We've talked about that bridge on the air before too.
Nobody.
I mean, it means the world to her.
Nobody bring it up. It's the dumbest looking.
Oh, stop!
Like, hold on. It's just it's not even a. It's just a little bridge.
You're about to get married there.
No, shut up. No, I'm not. Not.
You could decorate the bridge.
No.
Why are you going to Indiana, man?
And like when we do go there and get married, it's gonna be just two. It's gonna be me and her
and the crick underneath,
and Sumo and Gooch and all your.
Yeah, let's live stream it. Get some super chats going.
Come on, Bubba.
Larry Plummer.
You said, Red, I should go. I actually should go live.
Yeah, go live. Get some super chats.
Man, can you imagine if I just went live on YouTube? Be like, you know what? I'm finally getting married.
Well, we might as well go set up a 4-camera deal. I mean, if we're going live and taking
we
supers.
might as well have the cash cube too there, right? I mean, opportunity for the people from Lummi. You gotta leave a week before my truck with all the cash cube stuff.
Bubba, how'd you tell your mom? How'd you tell Tara?
They just know. And here's the we don't have any plans as to when there's going to be it's going to be like an elope kind of deal, and it's probably going to be my best friend Larry Plummer and his wife. That's it.
No dates you announced as vacation days, or those are the dates?
No, we don't know.
What made you want to what made you want to go through with it, Bubba? What did she do?
Listen, guys.
These aren't bad questions, Bubba. These aren't nasty, negative questions. These are really inquisitive. Like I'm dying to know.
I've been with her I've been with her a long time. Obviously, I am very much not getting married again. I'm like, we could just hang out and keep doing this till we die. Like, what I'm like, we don't need to get married.
Right, and she's not pregnant.
She's not pregnant. I can't get. Well, first of all, don't forget, I got a vasect. Well, it's been working, Dan, so it's okay.
Is the hold is the holdup that she wants you to sign a prenup because of her pension?
Seth is such a dick. No.
Does she have to get some paperwork in order?
I got a lawyer.
She's gonna reverse. She's gonna reverse.
The holdup is I'm finally getting reverse prenup.
Yeah,
she's gonna make you sign your old prenup.
Or the chick that I'm with has more money than I have.
Yeah.
And she's gonna make sure that I'm out here just to do a reverse gold digging.
Well, you can't get her house, the pension, the cars. I mean, who knows what else she's hiding?
You're right. But here's the deal. Like, I mean, I'm gonna make. We're gonna get her prenup. I mean, because what if all of a sudden, Seth, we get back on top, like we hit it big.
Oh, it's for us.
Could be.
Oh, okay.
Here's what the prenup's going to be. You know what? You take whatever the day before we were married, whatever's yours is yours, and whatever's mine is mine.
How does that work out, Dan?
If you map it out, Dan.
Well, it depends. You define what premarital assets.
Right.
That's part of it. A prenup. Any prenup has to have a definition of what was hers and what was yours.
Sure. So you list all assets,
and then you negotiate and agree on a severance package, essentially, was what it is.
Yeah, and here's what ours.
And it's not going to be like a bunch of child support, so it's just a matter of if, in lieu of alimony and division of assets, I'm going to give you X number of dollars after so many years.
Yeah, and mine's going to be something like, after 5 years, if we were to leave, she's going to have to pay me.
Oh.
I'm going to make it like because you have more. If we get divorced within 5 years, you have to pay me $10,000. And then, if we make it 10 years, she has to pay me $100,000 to go away. You know what I'm saying? Make it like that.
Was her family happy?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was her mom happy? Was Pepe happy?
I guess
it's a big family. I mean,
it's not been a big announcement. It's not anything. It's not anything that anybody's really talked about. It's just kind of a whatever. You got the ring, and we'll do it. We'll do it one of these.
But don't
days.
you want to express your love for her as loud as you could possibly scream it?
Oh my God! Why don't you profess your love for your wife as loud as you possibly
she
can
ain't
scream it?
listening.
You actually you're trying to make me profess my love, and
You
I'm
just
not even
proposed.
married.
I didn't propose.
I'm not even married. You're married. Why don't you right now profess your love for your wife and how much you love her? And how you just can't wait to see her today.
Bubba, when I got engaged, I told some people.
Well, was your mom and sister happy? Do they know?
Yes, my family knows. Larry Plummer and Sumo and everything. They all know.
How about Doug Clem?
Doug Clem knows.
Oh,
really? You told him?
Yeah.
Wow.
What'd he say?
Don't worry about what he said.
He hasn't texted you back yet.
Did he reply?
Blocked him now on Facebook.
Speaking of Doug Clem, let's not forget that this Sunday is Father's Day.
Yeah.
And I don't my son doesn't talk to me anymore, so I don't have any real reason to celebrate Father's Day other than to make sure I send a car. I'm sending my dad. I always send my dad, and he just totally gets off on. I send him the Omaha steak deal. My dad was man, I'll tell you that steak, man. I really appreciate that, Bubba, because it's hard to get good steak, and that's good steak. My dad just goes crazy over it.
That's great.
So I got an Omaha steak thing. I think there's a promo code Bubba on it, but I used my own promo code, of course. I think it whittles it down to $89, Lummy, or something like that, and you get a bunch of free stuff.
Oh, nice.
OmahaSteaks.com. Use promo code Bubba. But that's what I sent my dad, and he just totally this is like the third year in a row. And this last couple years, he's like, man, I'm telling you can't go wrong with that steak that you send, Bubba. He's stiff as hell.
2 Charlie 21520.
So when Doug Clem says that, don't you think, Dan, he's saying, man, just keep sending the steaks.
That's exactly
what he's
exactly what he's saying.
It's like,
Absolutely.
Don't be sending me anything stupid like a Bubba Army T-shirt. He's so stiff, he doesn't want any of that. But man, that steak, whew. My dad one time, the first year I sent him the Omaha steak, he was like, my dad worked for the largest printer in the world. They were called R.R. Donnelly's. And they printed like the Sears catalog and the JCPenney catalog and like phone books from, when printing was a thing. Well, my dad retired with 40 years in, I don't know how many years ago. I was saying something I forgot. I totally was talking about something.
Yeah, I forgot.
And so, over the years, you've gotten my dad, various stuff for Father's Day. And then there was a time where we weren't communicating. And I vowed now, since I know how that feels, not to put my dad through that. You know what I'm saying? I would be hypocritical to sit here and be boo-hoo, over Tyler if I was doing the same thing to my father.
Exactly.
So I, about 3 or 4 years ago, even before Tyler and I stopped talking, started to reestablish my a better relate. It was really after my stepfather died, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want my real father to die and I not have a relationship with him.
Bubba, I think you started a little bit ahead of that, before that, and I think
I did.
Something we learned as parents. Because when our kids disappoint us, it reminds us of how much of dicks we were to our parents as kids. And so you become better children once you become a parent. Does that make sense?
Yes.
A more considerate child after you've become a parent and you've experienced firsthand your kids letting you down on a regular basis.
But here's the thing. Let's define being dicks to our parents. 0 through 14, 13, man, we're pretty cool to our parents. Our parents hung the world. Danny, when you were 8 or 9, you looked at your dad and be like, that's my hero. That
Yes.
dude is, but then you get to be 15, 16, 17, you start getting your, got a car, you got your license, you got the car.
Your parents are a hassle.
You're
then.
getting some ass.
Right.
Now, Pops is not nearly that guy, the guy that hung the moon when you were 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's Johnny keeping me from having a good time.
Right.
Right. And then as adults, man, it's hit or miss as to whether, a lot of people fight with their parents as adults. I have that situation going on, and I did have it a little bit with my father over some various stuff. But before my stepfather died, I have rekindled my relationship with my father, and I need to do better. I need to call him more often, but I do communicate with him on Facebook and text. He's a boomer, so he's Johnny Facebooker. And if I don't get back to him on his Facebook, oh my God, he gets so mad. I'm like, Dad, I'm busy. I got a job, things to do. We didn't take anything. I was like, Dad, I'm not even on Facebook a lot like that. Why don't we text? Well, we could text, I guess. But it's hit or miss whether he gets the text because he doesn't. I guess he can't figure out text.
My dad's a Facebook guy now too.
Yeah, exactly.
All he texts me anymore are Facebook Reels. That's how we communicate.
Exactly. So anyway, I've reestablished my relationship with my father, which I really feel better about, and Tara still hates him. Tara will not. I don't think Tara will ever have a relationship with my father. And my father then I get in the middle. He's like, I don't know why Tara, he can't understand. And Tara's got her reasonings, and it's ridiculous. Families, are they not full of drama? You wonder why I'm not wanting to get married.
You are. I'm still trying to figure this one out, though. But I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Merch Crate.
We're gonna get married one of these summers.
But what? You didn't get married yesterday on stage.
No,
that wasn't you.
I did. I conducted a marriage.
Okay, you didn't. You didn't get married.
I married a man and a woman.
And who may they be?
Boo!
I'm sorry.
Men and women, icky.
Yeah. Icky.
Men and men, yay.
Give me a kicker, man. I don't want this
I married a man and I married a woman on the stage yesterday. And but it wasn't me and Erica. So Merch, here's the deal. I mean, me and the Merch Crick, one of these summers in Warsaw, we'll get married. I don't know if it's this summer.
Oh.
I would say it's probably not. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just, I know she's listening right now. It's not going to be this summer.
Aww.
Are you locked?
I hear a tear falling in the back.
Are you locked into the Warsaw, Bubba?
Yeah, it's kind of our thing.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I'm sure it's her thing.
Yeah.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
We were drunker than Nick Hogan's wife when we put this thing together. BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Greece, Warsaw. Bridge.
What are the radio shows talking about planning a wedding in Warsaw 4 summers from now? Nobody.
Under the bridge.
Oh, man.
Let me order your shake.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Man. Your favorite place?
You know Larry Plummer's probably going to take about 6 golf carts from Parks and Rec and bring them on.
Have special picnic tables.
Yeah.
And peanut butter.
6 without dead babies in it.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. I forgot about that. Oh, man.
What's up? Blitz PayPal account. Hey, funny.
Are you open to people documenting your wedding?
What does that mean?
That means filming, interviews, pretty much embedding.
Yeah.
No, I just, I'll tape it. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was it the selfie stick?
Yeah.
Probably a tripod.
What if we start looking for Warsaw's finest wedding for video?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, well, that could be an expense. We don't
It's
want
about clothes, purple ground, lawmaker. Drone coverage? You have some high J drone coverage?
No, yeah, that'd be good.
No, none of that.
He'd probably get right down in there.
Yeah.
Fucking vows.
Exactly.
Nope. In fact, not inviting Ty J is a slap in the face.
I think so too.
Motherfucker, Ty J driving 1,600 miles to fucking.
That's why you should have it here. Where your real family and friends
I'm sure we can
reside.
find a bridge here that looks just like that bridge. I'm sure someone will call it.
Hey, I got a DM that somebody said that Mike Calta opened for Robert Kelly to a third filled room on Friday night. Well, you had 1,500 people chanting to see your dick, Bubba. Talk about the tides are turning, baby.
Oh, only you would even fucking come up with that. Funny.
That inscription is badass on there, on the right.
LT was a bad motherfucker.
That's the coolest LT autograph I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
What autograph?
Yeah, I got a Lawrence Taylor jersey.
Who did?
Dr. Dan.
Got what?
I autographed Lawrence Taylor jersey.
How'd you get that?
David Rose gave it to him. We knew he liked LT. Dan's done a lot for during COVID and stuff. So that's like his way of saying thank you.
That's a pretty nice fucking gift.
Awesome.
What he wrote on it.
Most people don't. Most people
That's awesome.
Most people just fucking use Dan, use them, and never fucking really, like give you an old school vig on the backside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Secret Habit, 70 months.
Hey.
You're listening to the man that is best friends with Deion Sanders, Tony Stewart, and not Hulk Hogan. Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
This Saturday, you can say what you want about us, but digitally we're strong as hell, my friend. And it makes a lot of you little local yokels that are trying to do what I started 7 years ago now. Too late, brother. I'm just telling you, man. Too late. It's too late. It's you don't have enough content that you own, and it's too late. Like you're never gonna make any money. I mean, you gotta. If for all you radio guys that are trying to now go digital, I mean, you gotta have over 100,000 subscribers for you even to start making enough money to maybe pay one person, yourself. You have to have over 100. You have to have over 100. You have to have over 100,000 subscribers on your YouTube, or you're wasting your time, and it's going to take so long to get there at your age. I mean, let me. If we were to be intellectually honest, we didn't try to start playing the digital game, although they wish they would have back when we started. We were late. We were late to the game, but we started in 2017.
Yep.
And you got serious around 220, 221 when you had that guest come in, that female that said you're leaving too much fat on the table.
No, that was actually Ralphie Mays, Lana Turner.
Yeah, for
Lana
Facebook.
Turner. It was Lana Turner. That's what it was.
By the way, let me fish on the J. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army. Fish on the J, $100.
Wow.
Thank you so very much. And so yeah, I was walking Lana Turner out. And she's like, I know you're on Twitch, but if you ever have the ability to repurpose more stuff on Facebook, I'm like, Facebook? She's like, yeah, Facebook. They really, really have a pretty good monetization deal. You might want to try to do that. And sure enough, we started, now, God, look we got Rumble, we got YouTube, we got Twitch, we got X, we got Facebook, we have locals. I mean, that's all, Of course, we have an OnlyFans account, but I haven't really, I don't really promote that because it kind of, there's not a lot of stuff on there.
We finally got Instagram set up to make money. We currently have 24 cents in the account.
Good, good job.
Thank you.
Just going to want half of that.
Just 10%.
So, but I'm saying, we got some, pretty large numbers on social platforms that pay. I mean, we got 160,000 on Facebook. They got 114,000 on YouTube. We got 108 or 7 or something thousand on X. Our Instagram numbers, we never really paid attention to it like we should, but since Seth has taken over, that now turned into, although it's only 23 cents, it looks like it's now making money, and Seth is growing that. In conjunction with, Lummy, we make money on our podcasts on our whole podcasting network.
And believe it or not, we make money on TikTok.
And believe it or not, we're making money on TikTok.
Yeah.
And so all you local guys, bitch, we've done 18, 19, 20, 21.
Why are you worried about these local guys,
24.
man?
I ain't, bitch.
Why are you worried about these bitches?
Just be quiet for a little bit. 7 years. So add 7 years to where we are right now. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Maybe in 2031.
That's when you get married?
What's that?
That's when you're going to get married?
No, shut up, Dave. That is no. Stupid too. I wish I had my sound effects up and going.
The Z Morning Zoo on Z100.
Let me score accordingly.
Yeah.
What were the scores last week, Lummy?
Dr. Dan on Friday had 2 zoos.
No, but Dan, I want cumulative.
Okay,
numbers.
give me a second. I'll count them
Now
up.
I know Dan's on 3 times as
Correct.
much. But that's
he did
also,
miss Tuesday.
But yeah, true. That's not. Last week wasn't a normal Dan week, but Dan is on 3 times. Brian is on 1, sometimes 2. But Dan, if you were to look at that positively, that should be to your advantage. It gives you more time to build up a lead, build a lead up.
Mm-hmm.
But in your instance, sometimes it also could be you're trying too hard and you get yourself just buried. You know what I'm saying?
Well, 6 feet under.
You know what you are, Dan. You're that Formula One driver where you're driving in the corner too hard, and there's a 50-50 chance it's gonna stick, and you're gonna be fast as hell, or you're gonna hit the barriers.
Yeah, I'm like Kevin Magnuson who keeps hitting things.
Did you see the F1 spin?
Yes.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Man, he walked away from it.
Mm-hmm. They usually do in Formula One.
So Dan, is that about literally because you saw it completely totaled the chassis? Is that about $400,000? What's a Formula One?
Oh, they're like $10 million.
No. Hold on, Dan. The motors alone are $10 million.
Check my chassis. I remember we talking about this. The chassis is probably $5 million.
Yeah, check my facts. I know the gearbox is $1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
The motors are between 10 and 15 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the chassis are, but if a guy wads one up, I mean, you're looking at potentially 80, 90, $100 million.
Probably closer to 40, but yeah.
Yeah. Just sitting there, $40 million just right into the wall because they don't have insurance, right?
I don't think so for that. No, I don't think so.
I mean, I've never known you to be able to insure your race car ever.
No, you can insure race cars. People that do like 12 hours of Sebring or the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Yeah.
There's insurance for that.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. It's expensive, but there is insurance.
All right, so let's go and start wading through. So anyway, I just want to let you know, man. I mean, listen, for you local guys out there that are trying to be relative on and do the visual thing, the social media thing. Hey, you made fun of us in 2017. Look at us now. Look at us now, bitches. And you're not going to even think about touching the type of numbers I have until 2031. Are you even going to be alive in 20? Or will you even be alive long enough to be able to monetize your social networking? Probably not. That's not such a good outlook at all, is it? That sucks.
And even if they were, Bubba, you're one of the few people that own their own content. And so without that, no one has a chance.
Yeah. Anyway, Lummy, what do you got for me over there? Didn't I ask you for
Yeah,
something?
I got Dr. Dan Zoo from last week with his 2 days.
Dr. Dan's total score for last week.
5 Zoo, 3 dings.
I just want to know his number.
So it's a -2.
I'm sorry, -2. And Brian was -1.
Hold on. So Dan was a -2.
Yes.
Okay.
And Babyface was a -1.
Oh,
I'm sorry, +1. He was a +1.
Let me.
I'm sorry. I thought you wanted the total number, so I'm sorry. I didn't.
Dan, do you find this a little flim-flammy here?
It's confusing
I'm sorry.
sometimes.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's plus. I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, I can tell you,
negative.
Zoo for
I'm sorry.
Babyface 4,
I'm
Ding
sorry.
5, so it's +1.
I'm sorry.
Lummy was trying to explain something to me the other day, Bubba, and I had to call him because I couldn't understand him. The texts.
Yeah, I know.
I had to
Zoo
call him.
4, Ding 5, Babyface 1 last week with +1.
Let me, you
exactly.
You communicate sometimes as if we're in your head and we know what you're thinking, but we don't. I mean, that's the art of communication, is you have to feel both sides of the fence.
Hey, Bubba.
What?
I have a 2-minute voicemail from Lummy on Saturday. He butt dialed me. So
You're kidding me.
No.
Oh, no.
My bad. Trust TV.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and give to the TV guy, because he'll start trying to get you off the path with cheers. I think Lemmy actually keeps a hopper full of cheers ready to go if he starts getting heat. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah.
I just saw Lummy calling, and then I saw that then I saw he was leaving the voicemail, and then I saw the voicemail was 2 minutes. I was like, he did not mean to call me.
Did you listen to it?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Oh yeah. Now what is it? Is it something that we can air?
I mean, you could air it. You hear Lumby every now and again. I couldn't pick up on if he was talking trash about anybody. That was kind of what I was looking for, and I didn't hear any of that.
Okay, and where was Lummy? Do you know when you butt dialed him?
I'm looking. I guess it was Saturday.
Yeah.
8:21. So I was probably. I was at the wrestling thing.
You were at the wrestling now at 8:21. Were you at the actual event and inside the back, or are you driving there?
No, I had to get there by 5.
So you butt dialed Seth while backstage at the wrestling.
I might have been talking at that time to one of the guys.
Now you guys going through your high spot. Hey, listen, you're going to come in here, and then when I do this and do the third knee off the rope, you come in, flying in, I'll hot tag you. Well, watch the boot, duck the elbow, clothesline the guy, get into the corner. I'll set him up nicely, and then you do a second ring splash.
No, that was like at 5:30. This was just kind of hanging out, and he was kind of talking to me about his time in the wrestling
in the business.
Yeah.
So some guy.
It was the Gang Grill guy.
Oh, okay.
So
at least that's
Gangrel.
At least that's a guy that did make it to the big time.
Yeah, he was just on the pay-per-view with AEW last month.
Sure. No,
yeah.
I mean he's an established.
Did he give you any pointers since you almost killed that guy last time, Lummy?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of picking his brain. I mean, Bubba talks about it a lot. He's obviously very familiar with you, and he was just kind of telling me his kind of story. Listening and looking.
You know what you should do is, since now that you're hanging out with pro wrestlers and a guy was a Gangrel.
You start talking about me.
You need to record him and say, hey, listen, my boss is Bubba the Love Sponge. I think he dabbled in wrestling a little bit. What do the boys really think about Bubba?
Okay.
Like I got to tell him, say, listen, I got this ongoing thing where, when I see one of the boys, this is an ongoing thing, and Bubba plays it for his show, and it can be as stiff as you want it to be.
Okay.
Like you tell, listen, just be completely honest and stiff.
Okay.
Like, don't hold back.
How many? I mean,
because I think most of the boys would say, "Man, you know what? He had zero talent, and just because he was hanging from Hogan's nuts, he got special treatment and got to hang out with Hogan and all this kind of stuff." But all the boys in the back pretty much thought he was just Hogan's little bitch.
Okay.
How popular were you, Bubba, that he can ask every wrestler about you?
Oh, I mean,
Bubba's very well known in the wrestling world.
Are you as big as Bam Bam Bigelow?
No, I mean, listen, I wasn't in the business. The boys in the business, I'm very popular. They all know me. Because I had such a run with Hogan. I mean, I ran with Hogan. I was Hogan's best friend and ran with him for like 5 years.
Did they resent you when you did that?
Yeah. That's why I want Lummy, when he sees real wrestlers, to ask their real opinion.
Okay.
Because a lot of I'm like say, listen, don't sugarcoat it. If you think he was a Hogan nut hunter, say it. And it'd be interesting. All the boys are going to say the same thing.
Which is?
He was a Hogan nut hunter. He hung on Hogan's nuts, got everything he wanted, Hogan got him opening shows. Well, you know what? Actually, me and Texas Hangman, Hogan had nothing to do with us getting the opening show gimmick. Hogan had nothing to do with that. That was just because I knew how to wrestle, been trained by the great Tom Stone and Mike Moran in Milwaukee. And Lummy, because we started this gimmick in Milwaukee where I became a pro wrestler and then I would sell out high schools. Seth, I go into the high school and I go, listen, I'm going to do a local wrestling show here. I'm going to promote it on my radio show, which at that time was the number one top 40 station in all of Milwaukee, which is all kids, and younger people. And for 2 weeks, and then we're going to give tickets to your football team. It's $10 a head. And every ticket that your football team sells, they get $2.50 per ticket for their program. So you got all the football teams selling tickets to all their friends, and then I completely packed the house.
That's all you cared about, right?
Yeah, I completely packed the house. I'd make like $5,000. I would pay off the wrestlers. You don't have to pay. Let me, them. You only got to pay them $50, $80.
Yeah.
So I'd make like $3,800.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
After it was all said and done, because I booked it, had to pay the ref $50, had to pay the ring guy $400 for the season. So you had about.
Can we get that pyramid scheme going again with Lummy as our headliner?
Do it locally. Go with
Go to the high
Lummy. Listen, I wrestled at 2 high schools around here, Tarpon Springs and Clearwater.
Oh, nice.
Lummy, maybe it's time. You know what you should do is maybe it's time to pass the torch. I've always been noted as the wrestler of the show. Seth,
he's laughing really hard.
That's how he's talked about out there in the outside world. He's the wrestler of the show.
But I'm saying, like, out of everybody that's ever been a part of this program, I'm the guy that did the wrestling, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'm the guy that let's not forget. At one time, me and Texas Hangman were the only two guys ever to wrestle for WWE, WCW, and AEW or whatever this
ECW, right?
Yeah, ECW.
I don't think it was ECW. I think it was like UWF or AWF.
It was AWF, American Wrestling Federation. I wrestled. It was a real thing. I wrestled for 3 federations all in the same year. I mean that's
nice.
That's big.
I think
it is big.
I think AWF only lasted like a year or two.
They did. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'd established all that before I was even friends with Hogan, because they were like, man, we got this radio guy that's going to get on the air and literally talk about this. Because back then, Seth, I could talk about anything I wanted for as long as I wanted when I was in the Power Pig. So,
getting you ready for days like today.
Most top 40s, whatever the guy's name is, the freak guy, Johnny is in the Freak Show. Hey, it's Johnny the Freak Show. Don't forget, tonight we'll be at Ybor City, 7th Avenue from 11 to 1 o'clock. Ladies drink free. And boom, the Freak Show. Here's the new Nicki Minaj. Boom. Not get into it's Bubba the Love Sponge. I'll tell you right now, who's this? It's Texas Hangman. Hello? This is Texas Hangman. I'm going to kick your ass, you fat ass. I'm going to take you pillar to post. What you going to do when you 385 pounds from Milwaukee, Wisconsin danger strangles your fat little face out, Bubba the Love Sponge? You're just a fat ass. I'm going to kick your ass. This is Texas Hangman. You suck. Oh, don't forget, this Saturday at the Florida State Fairgrounds, get your tickets for AEW. It's Bubba the Love Sponge versus the Texas Hangman. And I would say that every break. Ad nauseum for like a month out.
Just so people know, AEW's not in town this weekend.
No, they're not. And Lummy doesn't wrestle for AEW.
No, and you did wrestle for ECW too.
That's right. I did when
July 10th,
I wrestled
1999.
Sabu. No. I wrestled
Bill Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso
in a street fight.
And then hold on.
Yeah, Bill was the one who came up to us at the last CCW event and,
see how
was
much
telling
you
Lummy
beat the
about
living-
working with
yeah,
him.
how
Hold on
he
now.
beat the crap out of you.
Oh, I sputted the hell.
No, that's what he said. He said you beat the hell out of him.
Oh, I sputted the crap. I got him so much juice the hard way. I was just throwing hammers in there. And then Sabu comes in to try to save him with some bamboo stick and blast the bamboo stick over my head. And I'm supposed to hard sell it, and I don't sell it.
I'm surprised ECW was having Tampa shows that late.
Sabu jumped out of the ring, and then I went and I chased him. And then we went to the backstage and left Alfonso just juiced out like a bitch. Right out there. That's right. I mean, like, Lummy, I mean,
That's right.
You've not had any matches. You've just had a couple of, managerial, valet, kind of deals.
Of course,
I wrestled full-blown
matches.
Yeah, so July 10th, 1999 in Tampa, Florida at the Expo Park, drawing 1,500 people. You were on the crowd, and it says here, Bubba the Love Sponge, no contest, Bill Alfonso in a street fight.
Yeah.
ECW champ Taz beat Yoshihiro Tajiri via submission. Sabu pinned Just Incredible, and ECW TV champ Rob Van Dam pinned Spike Dudley. One hell of a card.
Yeah, I mean, think about
Jerry
it.
Lynn, Lance Storm.
And you wonder why because I'm backstage with these boys. They know I'm going over. The ECW has paid me. They've ran advertising on my radio show, and they used to pay me $500 a night. They'd pay me $500 to be the opening match.
Wow.
And I did that with Vince. I did that with Turner. I did that with ECW. I did it with AEW. So, Lummy, I'm a very accomplished wrestler, bitch. That's why all the boys know me.
Did you ever work with that Herb guy? I think it was like Herb Abrams.
No, I don't know. I know that I worked with remember the Mean Street Posse?
Yeah.
And they were so mad at me because they were supposed to go over. We were at the Yingling Center for WWE. It was actually WWF at the time. And The Undertaker was in the back. And Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe, they're the agents in charge. They're calling the angle, and we're all back. All the boys are back in the dressing room, and that's where Pat Patterson and Briscoe would call out the angle, who's going over and how it's going. That's like they'd see like they'd see like Christian and Edge versus a couple, and they're like, okay, Christian and Edge are going over. Christian, you're going to do a feed into Edge. Edge, you're going to go ahead and drop down, get it again. Watch the boot come on the backside. Christian, come in, slide underneath, do a hot tag, and roll him up into Schoolboy. They would call the whole deal out. So for me, they get to me and they go, okay, so it's Mean Street Posse and Bubba, and I had Jerry Briscoe with me. Briscoe, the promoter, was going to be my guy.
Yeah, it looks like it was a 6-person tag. You, Briscoe, and Patterson.
So they tried to job me out. They're like, okay, so the Mean Street Posse are going to come in. They're going to double clothesline Jerry and Bubba. And then they're going to go ahead and you put their foot on you. Boom, you guys scoot out, and then they'll fight it out as to who the Mean Street Posse versus whoever is going to win. And so Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, what people don't realize is he kind of ran the dressing room. Like he ran it.
Everybody knows that.
And so he goes to Pat Patterson. He goes, "You're going to bury a guy in his own home." By the way, this is a house show. We're not on TV. So these were house shows. So unless you went to the Yingling Center, you didn't. Back then, house shows weren't televised.
No.
They were just a house show. You either saw it live as it happened, or you read about it in the Observer rag magazine, but you didn't see it. So Calloway turns to Patterson and says, "This is a house show, isn't it, Jerry?" Pat, and he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right, so you're going to bury a guy that's been on the radio for 3 weeks putting over our show. And the last time we were here, we were about a half full. And tonight it's sold out." Because, Lummy, all my listeners would go.
Oh, yeah.
They're loyal.
And because not only that, but it would completely validate that I'm a pro wrestler. So they, and I got huge pops. Because I've been talking about it for, a month. And so Calloway goes, "So you're going to bury a guy that's been on the air. He's the #1 rated local guy in town. He's the most over guy in town on the radio. He's been talking about this show and has sold this place out. The last time we were here, we were half full. The only thing that's changed is that we added him, and he's talked us up that much more. I can hear him chant. They were chanting "Bubba, Bubba" before I got out there, Lummy. He goes, so Calloway says, and we're gonna bury that guy in his own hometown. When none of this makes sense. It's a house show. We're not trying to build any angle up for a pay-per-view. This guy's only going to be here for Tampa, and so Pat Patterson, without missing a beat, goes, so listen, Jerry, you guys come in and you double clothesline the Mean Street Posse. Jerry, set the one guy up in the corner, and Bubba, can you go off the second? I'm like, and he goes, you come off the second, give him the sofa splash, and we take it home. I was like, cool.
Hell yeah.
But then hold on. Don't think the Mean Street Posse weren't mad then, because Seth, here they are doing a job to a local DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's lots of balance.
Yeah, they're like, man, so hold on. We went from going over, and the Mean Street Posse, nobody ever questioned when the Taker said something.
Yes.
Vince would listen to the Taker. Like, the Taker just knew the business. He was always what was best for the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody questioned the Taker. So that kind of gave me a little bit of swag, too. So the next time they came to town, which, they used to come to town at least once, sometimes twice a year in Tampa. Between the two federations, you'd get at least 2 shows in Tampa. So, so it kind of put me over with The Undertaker. And remember, if you remember, one of my Bubba Weens, The Undertaker came in, because that's when he lived in Tierra Verde with Jody. And I actually got pictures. I need to find them. With The Undertaker came, listen to this, Seth. The Undertaker left his, think about, who's the most, Russ Rollins? Seth Rollins.
What, now?
Like who's the most over right now?
Cody Rhodes.
All right, so that would be literally Cody Rhodes getting out of bed at 5 or 6 o'clock. He lives in Tierra Verde, driving down to a nightclub to sit at a card table to go live with the local radio show. That's what Calloway did. Ooh. He came in, was our co-host during one of our Bubba Weens, and was, there for 2 hours just being our co-host.
That's awesome.
He was so cool. But he was he ran the show. And once I got in good with him, and then from him I got in good with Hogan. I just know how to work, bitch. I just know how to strategically put myself into some good places. Now I've put myself into some bad places before too. Now let's not sit here and say that I'm Johnny. Always make the right decision.
Would your life be better if you never met Hogan?
Oh
God.
That's a deep question.
That is so deep. There's so many layers to that. You almost give me anxiety.
Well, let's peel them back on the after show today. We don't need to peel them all here. I just figured I would, throw it out there.
That's definitely got to be. Write that down, Lemmy, for the after show. That's a topic for the after show.
You can think about it.
Because you got to go deep on it. You got to fist that. So Lemmy, Eric Andre was in town Friday. This is, now you can go to our YouTube channel, which is at The Bubba Army, and watch it. Rhett, thank you very much. Great job, Rhett.
Thank you.
And it's available up on our YouTube, and I'll put it up on our Facebook here soon, the next couple days or two. Here's just a little bit of it. It was just so, I can't really explain what my post-interview mentality is. It's almost kind of what did I just do?
Was it fun? Was it fun? Were you just on edge the whole time?
I was on edge.
Were you worried about what was coming next?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's so outrageous.
And he kept looking up at the ceiling.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I was watching it back. I thought they were trying to dump something on you.
Me too. So
you kept moving, and I think you messed it up.
Dan, if you look at me right now, Seth, look at me. Lummy, you can't see me because you have more computer screens than I do. But if you and I are hanging out, let's say we're just at dinner, okay, we're in just this close proximity, and I just go like this.
I'd be like,
it's just natural reaction.
Yeah,
Seth, if you and I are vibing, I just go.
It's a giveaway. Yeah, it's a tell.
You go you instantaneously are like this. I mean, you instantaneously get into
Right,
defensive mode.
Absolutely.
Because people don't look up at the ceiling for good things.
No.
Like, they don't look up at the ceiling and say, oh, the paint looks good, lights look good.
Butterflies.
People naturally don't look up in an alarm type situation. So he kept doing that to me, looking up, and I thought for sure they were going to do like a Nickelodeon slime gimmick or like something like that kind of deal.
Was that just the bit? Was them acting like? Did anything ever come down that night, Lummy? I know you ended up staying.
Now, Lummy, here's the deal. I'm going to play a little bit of mine, but what did they do? Because me and Seth
got out of there.
Well, me and Seth. I mean, I hate to put us over like rock stars, but we completely. Seth, we rock starred the hell out of that deal, did we not?
We were in the alley at 9:00. I mean, just when they said we'd be there from 8:45 to 9, and then
we were there at exactly. We were. No, make sure you.
We're there at 7:30.
We were leaving the building at 9:00.
Right. It was just and I didn't need to stay at all. I saw everything I needed to.
Literally, Lummy had the Uber take us like 6 feet from the back door.
Nice.
Walked in the back door, was given our 3 passes, sat down, met some people, met Eric. Seth was a nervous wreck the entire time, dealing with Brian and everybody, just making sure, trying to get everybody where they needed to be. I went out, did the gig. I think the gig for who I am and what I think it went about as well as it could have been.
Went great.
He pigeonholed me into publicly disclosing that I'm engaged. I'd already given her a ring. I guess at the end of the day, when he said, will you propose to your girl? I've already pretty much done that. Like I gave her a ring. Like
at any moment, did you think about showing your ween?
No.
Okay.
But I wish I would have known, Lummy, because we could have got a prosthetic
that
deal.
Been perfect.
And do you know how good it would have been if I would have gone up and just kind of like shown enough to make it look like I got a really big penis?
Yeah.
The crowd would have gone crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'd have a hell of a reputation this morning, would I not?
There was some big penis frenzy, I could tell in the crowd.
So here's the deal, Lummy. If you went there and you were not Bubba Army, and you're 24, 25, 28 years old, like most of the people there, you're like, hey, I went to the Eric Andre show this weekend, and remember that old fat radio guy, Bubba the Love Sponge? You know the one who let his wife have sex with Hogan. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, he was there.
What was he doing there?
I don't know, but man, he has a big D.
Really?
Yeah.
Talks about how small it is.
No, well, I don't know what he says on the show, but Eric, was asking people to show their D, and he pulled his D down. Just like showed about maybe 3/4 of it. And my God,
I'm gonna have to listen.
Who would
now.
ever thought that a fat ass shock jock would be that well hung?
Creative Loafing did a review on the show. They wrote an article.
Really?
Can hold on.
I'll try to find where it says you in it.
Oh yeah, it's not there.
No, hold on.
Really? Yeah.
Tell me that's not.
Well, let's stop promoting that crap then from Best of the Bay.
No, hold on now. Hold on.
They're very good.
Rhett, here's the deal. Like, how do you intellectually, as a credible journalist paper, that you want people to, read your magazine and know what's cool and know what cool restaurants to go to and what cool shows have come to town and what this and that. Try to be a credible journalistic piece. And when you cover the Eric Andre show, you don't include that I was a pretty major. I mean, I was a good 30 minutes of his. I was.
You were a third of the show. But at Creative Loafing, the guy probably got told by his editor or his boss who doesn't like you to not talk about you.
So
that's ridiculous.
So how did they report it?
They just said that he was bringing up guests from the audience all night. Basically, they said it's fun. They included everything else that happened. Didn't say a word about your appearance. There's pictures of you, though. We put those pictures on the Instagram.
Seth, is that not just bullcrap? That just goes to show you, just the jig is up here in Tampa on me. Like, it's just not radio stations, but the radio stations have now infiltrated. Like it's an entire media deal. And what did I do?
Well, fortunately, Bubba, creative loafing only matters one time a year when they're doing the Best of the Bay stuff, which we're heavily promoting their website right now. So if we want to take a step back from trying to win the awards, I know that it's nice, but that way we can stop promoting their website since they're not giving you any love. And I also do want to tell you, my buddy who I used to work for at the sports station, Aaron Jacobson, was at that event and texted me that he has new respect for you about how well you did that night. And he's been in town forever.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry that you got jobbed out by creative loafing, but your peers had respect for you that night.
I know, but that's just like,
I know it doesn't matter.
it just sucks.
Let's call them.
It's just like, I could do something nice.
Call creative loafing?
Hold on.
Yeah.
But hold on. I did a couple nice things. I made a check presentation to Grady Judd for when that Polk County guy died, the young guy. Remember, he died in the line of duty. And then I made another contribution. My foundation, the Bubba the Love Sponge Foundation. I made another check contribution to Bob Gutierrez when that sheriff died. Remember that migrant worker had a front end loader, and the sheriff was working traffic. And that's just like when they stay in their car and like just they angle their car at a certain way so that traffic can't go that way. It's usually during construction, and this illegal alien was not authorized to drive. He was on the job site working the road, and he was not checked out or authorized to be driving a front end loader on. He was like a manual, a manual labor guy. He was not checked out to drive any front end loaders,
No.
and he took the front end loader and literally drove over the guy and smashed him.
Jason Lindquist, $10.
And I made a considerable contribution to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department for that guy's wife, and nobody in the media. And I press released it to all media, and nobody covered it. I posted it on my socials. I did.
Some guy fills 4 gas tanks in his front page news.
Yeah. So it's just like it's a
Bubba,
media. It's a media thing too, though.
You got more. You have. Do you think more people read the review of Eric Andre and Creative Loafing, or do you think more people are going to watch this YouTube video of you with Eric Andre for 20 minutes?
I think what? I think you got a great point there.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that.
Bubba, your outlet is in your medium is bigger than a lot of other places.
Oh, I know.
So I mean, it would be nice if they covered you and they mentioned exactly what happened, but
it's also the mindset of the industry. Like, it's just like, how can a guy be known as one of the greatest ever in Tampa radio, but yet be so blackballed that like a guy from New York, let me remember that one guy went to prison.
Yes.
Craig Charlton.
Yep.
He went to prison for 18 months, federal prison, and when he got back, his radio job was waiting for him.
Sure was.
I've done some stupid stuff. I have, but is it worth? Is it a, the way they're treating me, Lummy, is like I got convicted of touching children. Or doing something, so just like non-forgivable, like you'd never get. I let my wife sleep with Hulk Hogan, and some people stole it and brokered it. Like, that's what I'm guilty of.
We got to stop reminding people.
Yeah.
Let's start going over the good high spots of your life.
There we go.
Coming to the stage is a Tampa Bay legend. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from...
Now, let me, did they put my name up on the stage or something? Is that where the screams came from?
They played a Tampa Bay Times video feature.
Yeah, where you were driving around in your grader.
Oh,
That's where all the
really?
race car footage was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were,
Well, I mean,
you were on the grader.
it looks like I got a pre-pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Like I was wondering.
Is a Tampa Bay legend. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from Smash Mouth.
It's from Smash Mouth. Like I'm the bassist from Smash Mouth.
Yeah, you look like the singer.
Yeah, the singer.
The late singer, R.I.P.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I really look like the guy from
It's
Smash
good.
Mouth?
It's good enough for a little throwaway joke, Bubba. It was.
Can you show me the lead
We
singer?
don't have to tie.
He's dead, Bubba.
I
R.I.P.
just want to see what the guy looks like.
See, look at that.
I think you're a better looking guy, Bubba. I think you're better looking.
Yeah, like I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I was, if you want to know, like my inner thoughts, I'm like, well, hopefully I can get on this riser. Hopefully I can make it up here. And then secondly, I'm thinking, wow, that went better than I thought. Like, Lummy, I've been introduced locally, and sometimes it's a 50-50 at best.
Yeah, but he had that crowd eating out of the palm of his hand because he's super good at his job, Bubba, and they were going to love anything that he was doing because those people know how much he's about to make them laugh no matter who's up there.
I sent you a picture of Smash Mouth.
Nice shoes, Bubba.
Right.
Thank you. So the guy...
Oh, it's
Is he
actually
dead?
funny.
Yeah, he passed away last year.
Oh,
that sucks, man. They were a good band.
They were a good band.
They had some good songs, yeah.
So that's who Eric. I mean, I get it now.
I did too.
I didn't understand when he said it. I didn't really, because I didn't know what the guy from Smash Mouth looked like.
That picture is 1,000 words.
So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is going pretty good. Little did I know that they will. I mean, they would scream and holler for the worst person in the world because of that. They know that guy's fixing to provide some entertainment for them. Now this guy here in the back, this African American man in a wig.
That's Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, he.
I thought it was a girl. It's a guy.
It's an African American guy in a wig.
It's Reese Witherspoon.
And Reese Witherspoon, and he says to me, he looks at my shoes and he goes, "That's some of the most Tampa shizit I've ever seen in my life." He called my shoes Tampa shizit.
Damn.
He goes, "Man, that's some Tampa. I'm from New York, and that is some real Tampa shizit."
He's uneducated.
I'm like, well, Dan, that's not right.
No, it's New York stuff too. It's international. It's not just Tampa, dude.
I know,
That's international.
He was trying to be funny. He's a stand-up guy. He's a jokester. He's Andre's assistant. He's Reese Witherspoon.
He's dressed up. I thought he was dressed up as E.T.
And him being behind me had me freaked out. I actually whispered at one time to Eric, I thought they were gonna upend my chair.
Oh.
That's why I was sitting on the edge of it, Lummy, because I wanted to not
jump up quick.
Yeah. Like I don't have anything quick on me.
Now, you were named after the Bubba Gump shrimp thing from Forrest Gump? No. Where are you from originally?
Warsaw, Indiana.
And where do you live now?
All right, so if you want to watch this, I'm not gonna replay it here. I think it just be there's a lot of things I can't probably say. I mean, I think there's some language.
Yeah.
So I was there. I was scheduled to do one. They were right on time too. Were they not?
They
Seth?
were, yeah.
To the minute. So at 8:30, he goes on just like clockwork, and then I'm scheduled for 8:45. So let me right at 8:45. I go up.
Perfect.
And I'm scheduled for one segment, and then Rhonda Shear was scheduled for 9 to 9:15, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
no, it was Rhonda Shear, and then they kept you on stage because I guess she has her own line of underwear, panties, or bras.
Yeah.
And Eric Andre wanted you to put on the panties.
But what did I do instead?
You turned it around on him, and then he ended up tucking his wiener. Erica saw a part of it, and he put the panties on himself.
I end up turning it around. He's like trying to get me to put these panties on, and then I end up just throwing them back to him. He catches them, and then I just started saying, "Put them on." And the fan,
he goes, "This is my show." He's like, "You don't twist this around on me."
I go, "Hell, I don't, buddy." And so I twisted it around on him. He then ended up putting the panties on. And you can see his dong and everything. Like, I mean, the show's very dong aggressive.
I'm gonna give you a nice hug with it too.
They really
Did he give Bubba a hug with it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's a picture on the Instagram
of him.
He latched on to Bubba at the end of the show, and they were walking off the stage.
Oh yeah, you didn't see that, Seth?
Oh, I didn't know he was wearing the panties then.
No, he was in the jock strap still.
Okay.
He was.
And he was like,
boys were out.
He had me wrapped. Like he jumped up around me, wrapped his arms around my waist, and was like wienering me.
He's got some energy, man.
Oh, yeah. How about, do you want some freshly crushed Adderall?
He knows
that
you
was
well.
hilarious.
So anyway, listen, you're good. It's up now. Rhett put it together. Thank you, Rhett, for putting it together. It was at Seth, thank you for going with me and getting me, set up and take everybody. And Lummy, please know this, that Seth was on his phone, and I know that maybe you don't care and or, you're not throwing a fit, but please know that with regards to Babyface and with regards to getting Rhett back.
Well, I was trying to get Lummy back, too.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
And he was trying to get everybody in the right position, in the right passes. He was talking to the promoter. He was talking to the building venue. And he was trying and it was, he was kind of a borderline anxiety attack, trying to get everybody handled and in. And then the promoter comes up and says, I don't want anybody back here. This is a very restricted area. Well, Seth's like, then Seth. So somebody tells Seth, I don't want anybody else back here. This is a high restricted area. And Seth goes, yeah. Speaking of which, can I get 2 more passes?
Well, when he opened up his fanny pack to give us the passes, he pulled out 5, and there was 3 for us, and then I asked one for Rhett and Lummy. So I thought those other 2 were for those guys. Yeah. So I guess I was just too stoned because I was like, hey, can I get those? And he's like, no, we're not. Nobody else is coming back here.
So anyway, Lummy, please know that Zeth was pulling for you.
I knew once I asked because Rhett was kind of with me and told me what he did.
Hey, Rhett BS'd his way right back. He came back all passed up.
Yeah, BS nothing. I just kind of walked in I walked in the front door with a camera and they tried to tackle me. Well, and they were like, hey, are you on the list? And I'm like, yeah, that's my name right there. And they said, okay, well, you're not on the media list. Oh. And I said, well, unfortunately, I'm just here to film one of the guests. I'm not filming the show or anything. So they called their boss called the other boss, and I ended up being let in.
Yeah, next thing I know, you're standing beside me.
Well, it explains why the lady kind of was kind of a bitch to me. Because I think it was right probably around the time that Seth asked.
How did your check-in go?
Oh, I mean, I got right in, and then Rhett told me about the pass, so I went back over, and she goes, I know, I got it, but we're not giving any more passes. If you want, email my boss. And I'm like,
they told Lummy to send an email.
Yeah.
They said, we'll take care of you as soon as you respond to your email.
Lummy, I don't mean to laugh because you are the executive producer, and you got jobbed out the hardest.
It's all right.
You got the best title, and you got jobbed out the hardest.
I think, yeah. I think they got annoyed with us asking. Rhett asked pass, and Seth obviously did.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did.
Seth was wearing him out backstage. He was wearing him out. He was
annoyed.
He was hitting his vape pen and texting 5,000 miles an hour.
Well, I wanted to go. I wanted to go out there and give Lummy my pass so then he could go in the back.
Right.
Like that's what I was willing to do until I saw just the sea of humanity and all those people that were out there, and I go, I'm staying backstage.
I don't blame you.
I'm not giving up my pass.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, we were about ready to go on, and Zeth took Merch Crick. I go, Merch Crick, you need to scram and get out of here. I'm getting ready to go on. So Merch Crick and Zeth then went out to the show. Lummy, I'm sorry if you got jobbed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I got to hang out with Brian.
They were and Brian, we're sorry. I mean, I hope you didn't feel like you got jobbed.
Well, he got jobbed. He bought 8 tickets, Bubba, and I mean, he literally bought 8 tickets.
I'm surprised he didn't have a heat stroke.
Did he get in? Did he get in to see?
Yeah, he got in.
Okay, where was he?
First time I saw him, he was running sprints around the bar in a full suit.
Yeah, he had the full suit.
Debo Owens 20 and Las Vegas Mario 25.
And see, Dan, you would have put up with none of this.
No.
If your name wasn't on the list,
Yes.
and you didn't have full access, and you weren't could come and go wherever you want, including going to see Bubba immediately, you would have been intolerable. You would have been fighting people, mad at people. Hold on. So that's why
until he said, "Whip out your dong," and be like, "Okay."
So what I should have done is should have had Dan right there to the stage on the other side, and I go, hey, you know what, Eric, I'm not going to whip out my dong, but there's a co-host on my show.
I have a surrogate.
And Dr. Dan Diaco that loves the show. He can jump right on up here right now. And so if you guys want to be in the, see a dong from the Bubba Show business, I got a dong right here, buddy.
A stand-in dong.
Dan goes out there and just whips it out. Helicopters hit the whole crowd goes crazy. See, I don't think the whole crowd is gay for dong. I just think they're almost South Park for dong. You know what I'm saying? Like dongs are funny.
Well, after you guys left, dongs came out.
What I'm saying is, I used to get in the trolls would give. Why isn't Eric Andre getting, a bunch of haters saying, God, you meat gazer. All you want to do is look at dongs, and dongs are all part of your show.
He does.
Anytime, Lummy, we would have some dongs on the show, just, through various stunts and things, man, the trolls would be like, Bubba's secretly gay. I just wish Bubba would come out of the closet because, bottom line is he has a lot of dong contests in the show and pubic hair burrito and shocking the balls. And I just know deep down that Bubba's a homosexual and he just, I'd have more respect for him if he just would come out and be gay. Listen, if I was gay, or bi.
He wouldn't have proposed to the merch crate.
That's right.
No, but hold on. I would be in such a better place right now because I wouldn't have been. They're never that mean to the gays. They've been like, oh, he let him sleep with his wife.
No, you'd be stunning and brave.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah.
You'd be a hero.
For real.
You'd be the front of the Pride Parade this
weekend.
weekend.
I'd be like, man, Bubba the Love Sponge, he's bisexual. Him and Hogan had a thing going.
Yes.
Him and Hogan did.
Linda said, she knew about it, so.
Yeah, he's bi. Him and Terry used to, hook up all the time. And, I think him and Dan hook up a little bit. Yeah. I mean, Dan, you might as well jump on my bi party.
Why not?
I mean,
Yes,
you might
exactly.
as well.
Bubba,
Then nobody could ever talk bad about you, Dan, because you'd be like, listen, I know Dan's a little narcissistic and all, but, he's gay. And he's bi. Like, oh yeah, well you can't criticize a guy that's bi.
Nope,
I mean,
not anymore.
you're gonna get instant heat.
Yeah.
You can't be like, man, I hate homosexuals. I hate them.
Bubba,
I hate bi guys. No, you're gonna be canceled as fast as your head will spin. You got it, man. Jay, a little heavy on the aftershave today. Woo!
Come on, Jay.
I mean, is it me or is Jay?
I smell too.
Did Jay go through a car wash of cologne?
Talking from a guy who smells so nice every time I come near you.
No, I'm saying just the you have your. It's so.
I don't
strong.
usually do that.
It's so strong that it overcame the entire room.
Lummy smells it.
It smells
Of
good,
course
Jay.
he does.
It doesn't smell bad.
He co-signs anything you say.
No,
Dan.
hold on,
Of
Jay.
course.
Jay. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it smells good.
You smell good as hell.
Okay.
Just a little strong today, buddy.
Sorry, I'll lighten up
What
the
are you
spray or
wearing,
two.
by the way? What is it?
Versace.
Okay.
Versace.
You gonna copy that recipe next,
No,
Bubba?
because I would have said if he would have said he was wearing Alpha, I'd be like, that ain't Alpha. I know what my Alpha smells like. My Alpha's not nearly as edgy.
It's not as pungent.
Yeah, what you're wearing now is a little edgy. So it's a little. It's got a little edge to it.
La Tigre.
Do either one of you wear your Alpha, or is that just like a collector's item that you put up on? And I'm sure that
I have it in my car. Actually, I do.
In your car.
Yeah.
Well, that's not part of your rotation.
What do you mean? When I get out and go in the office or whatever? Of course, it's part of my rotation.
It's always there, Bubba.
It's always there when I need it before I go in someplace.
It's the most important bottle.
It's actually the most important bottle.
So you just do a little spritz right before you go in, gives you a nice little clean smell.
Exactly. I do it a little bit on my wrist, under my watch. I do it to the other hand, behind my neck. Boom, I'm in.
Can I ask you this question, Bubba?
Yeah, we have to go to words. We're way late. But
All
go
right,
ahead.
I just want. I thought about it a lot this weekend, and I texted Brian. Why is it that dong humor continues to be funny? It's been going on for billions of years. It's going to keep going on, and it's still funny. What is it?
Because penises are funny.
Yeah, it's like farts.
It's because when you have a boy, it's boy jokes. They never go away. It's the first thing you really have in common with your kid is like farts and pee-pee jokes and all these kind of things, and it never goes away. Do you agree with that, Bubba, or
Yeah.
not? It's a guy thing. I mean, it's a total dude thing.
Yeah, I think it's just like the juvenile side of all of us.
Because, like, I wouldn't say that I'm into dong humor, but, like, when they were showing all those dongs, like, I couldn't contain myself at all. And then I was just questioning.
Well, you might be a little bit different than us, but I mean,
Well, no, I'm telling you it was funny, and then I'm just questioning, like, how is it that dong, like, Eric Andre's making millions, I'm assuming,
on showing men's dongs.
On a good portion of it is showing dongs. Like, you could make
we were so ahead of our time, Lummy, on radio. I mean, listen to this, man. Listen, if you talk about internet radio, Lummy, back in 2011, I started Radio IO. We were the first, kind of internet radio, way before Spotify, way before all of that nonsense. I had, Shannon do Afternoon Drive. We had a talk channel. We had music channels. We had all kinds of different channels. So we were about 10 years ahead of that. And then dongs. We've been doing dongs since, Jesus, the 90s.
Yeah, but they went on video when we got Bubba Raw, and people saw it.
Yeah, but we got.
It's not too late to really get back into the game strong, Bubba.
Dongsforsale.com.
I don't think we need to get back into the dong business.
Okay.
I mean,
if you don't want 1,500 people chanting to see your dog, man, I don't know what your career goals are anymore because those were mine.
Holy shit, a lot of people have worked here. Glad we built BubbaArmyHQ.com for all the PTSD memories.
Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Morgan and Morgan.
Yep.
Here, I'll try to find it.
On his Twitter or?
Yeah, well, he tweeted or put how much he put a picture of all of his attorneys and how much they won just last week.
Jesus, it's on his Twitter.
It's always that.
And I wanted to show Jay.
Erica got me 3 shirts. I asked her for larges. I should have gotten extra large. I forget I'm still big. I look like Brian Matroni in these shirts.
We'll get different ones.
Looks gonna fit you, dude.
You think it's okay?
That's how it's supposed to fit, Jay. Yeah, it's just not 2024. It's not 1998 anymore.
Well, dude, that's coming from a tight jean guy.
Jay, tight is in, dumbass. Baggy's not in.
Let me see here.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
Good morning.
You got it.
Morning, Seth.
How's it going, Jay?
I'm great. How are you?
I have no problem with your scent. I think
Here it is. I found it. I found it.
All right, I just sent it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I just
Did you notice when I walked by though? If you did, then maybe.
Yeah, but I think you always have a smell, but it's not overpowering and it's never bad, so it doesn't you know.
Yeah.
It's not that smell.
It's way worse than the Febreze, or the Febreze is way worse.
How do I get this thing alive? How's your weekend, Bubba?
Hectic.
Yeah? Busy going to do a show on a Friday night when you want to be asleep, right?
Mm-hmm. Hectic. And then I had to marry some people yesterday here. I did a marriage here.
Did you?
Yeah.
You and Pity.
And then
Reverend. Rev Bub. Did they give you their spiel? I've done it once and they gave me the spiel and I changed the whole thing.
Yeah, of course I did.
They like want to put in some cheesy jokes for you and I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. How you doing, dude? I'm good. How you doing? Good. I guess I corded my tires from that autocross. So my car wasn't drivable.
Really?
And I had to go to the graduation party anyway.
Jesus Christ, this is fucking melted.
What up, Red Wave? The Tim Anglin, DDP for life. What up, HS Bubba fan? Sorry, guys, took me a second to get everything working here.
Damn, abortion and weed are gonna pass.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, but the weed one is deceiving because it's.
Oh, save it.
Well, it's gonna be expensive as fuck, right?
No, it's reducing the THC content big time.
Oh, I'm gonna keep my medical card.
But I think you're allowed to grow some, aren't you?
Yeah, as long as it's like dirt weed.
Well, will they really check it?
I don't know. That's what I heard. That's the word on the
No, Bubba.
That's what I'm saying.
I never seen anyone check anything ever.
Like, how do they? Let's say they
Like a window tint gauge.
Well, hold on.
No, everything that's purchased on a dispensary has a label on it that says exactly.
I understand that, but they're gonna if they make it recreational, then do you still have to buy from a dispensary?
Yes, because every recreational dispensary has to have a label like, caloric intake on a piece of food. So everything has it. I was just in California.
I was at the south side for a half hour, so like chocolate milk. Nice at the top.
So what if Hulk Hogan banged his wife?
And that's bad?
You would have too if your best friend was the greatest wrestler of all time. Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Don't forget you can go to our YouTube channel, which is at The Bubba Army. Pretty much unilaterally across all social networking, we're at The Bubba Army. I think TikTok is one of the very few that we're not.
No, we're not. It's the only
We
one,
have
I
a couple
think.
underscores there.
Yeah.
But YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitch, all the places. Twitter, X, at The Bubba Army. Follow us if you could, please. It's very important that you follow us at least on X, right? Preferably like YouTube, X. That's
Facebook,
our
Instagram.
Yeah, those are our priorities. So please, at The Bubba Army, follow us. Thank you. Hi, who's this?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, long-time listener. Been listening since Power Pig days. I had a question for the doc.
Okay.
I've had kidney stones over the years, probably about 6 or 7 times. I'm a tradesman, carpenter, work outside. What do you guys recommend? What does he recommend to do? To break it up or to pull it out with the laser deal?
It all depends. Bubba's got more experience with this than I do.
Yeah, Dan's never had kidney stones, and Dan could give you a diagnosis as a doctor, but if you want to talk to a human being that's actually had them over 20 times, I can give you some insight for him. Usually, Dan's not a urologist. I think I'm more of a urologist than Dan is because I had Dr. Mark in here answering penis questions for 15 years. So I'm part-time urologist too. Here's the first thing you might want to start, okay, is you might want to get a prescription for Flomax. That's the first thing.
Got it.
Okay. You already got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that helps. Secondly, I've not had to have anything removed surgically because I've never had anything over 12 is it centimeters or millimeters, Dan?
Millimeters.
I've never had anything over. My largest has been 12, but historically, if they're over 10, they like to go up and grab them. They numb up your penis and then they stick this rod right up your penis.
Oh, God,
that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It's a basket that retrieves it.
Yes. Then if that, sometimes they'll do that. If not, they'll put you sometimes in a water tub and they electrocute you, don't they, Dan?
Well, it's not electrocution. It's called lithotripsy, and it's vibrations that break up the.
But isn't that kind of painful too?
Yes, they put you asleep because it hurts so much.
Yeah.
And you're bruised sometimes.
So they put you in this tub of water.
And they
literally
beat your ass.
Literally like the kind that the athletes get in, those little tubs of those little hot tubs or what people would use for icing and stuff like that. They put you in that.
Right.
I think, Dan, they knock you out, and then they run this electric water to kind of go in there and bust up your things, making your 12 millimeters into sand, and then you just pee sand. And then, Dan, is there a surgical part of the?
Yes, you could theoretically have to do an open urotomy and take out the stuck stone from the ureter or the renal calyx.
Now, how many times have you passed a kidney stone?
Every time.
No.
Not
How many? Like how many? How many have you?
I'd say about 8.
Okay,
7 or 8.
And are they always about the same size?
I mean, it seems like they've been getting progressively larger.
Okay. And how?
You know, like the first 5, I didn't even really know I passed them. The last one, I shotgunned it out, like, you know.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, though.
I saw it, retrieved it.
But hold on. Isn't the greatest feeling like you cannot, it's even better than an orgasm, is when you're all clogged up and you're finally passing that stone and it's in your shaft and you're holding your penis and you're peeing and you're kind of, it's kind of like you're restricted, and then your penis literally cocks itself like a shotgun. You can't, there's nothing you can do about it. And it goes, and it goes and it hits into the turlet, and you're like, oh, it's like you literally just had the most intense orgasm you've ever had, and because you're now
absolutely.
Oh yeah, well, sir, how do you know? Like, have you measured? Like, I know mine range between 8 and 12 millimeters. That's what mine. So those are passable.
I think I had a 6.5 last time.
Yeah. If it's below 10, if it's below 10, now does it immediately? Can you feel it moving and it immediately starts hurting, or is it a dull pain for a while and then it intensifies?
I don't have any pain. I don't have any pain until it gets stuck. I mean, I can feel it. I know it's coming. You know, you get the sense of urgency all the time to relieve and whatnot. And
well, all you got to really do, man, is you just got to at that point start pounding water. Like, just start pounding water. And, you know, and that's right, Dan, with Flomax, taking, 0.4 milligrams of Flomax, maybe 0.8 a day, and pounding water. It sounds like yours aren't, there's dudes that have like 20 millimeter ones. And those are the guys that they have to go in there and put the rod up your penis in this little basket and kind of grab it out. Yeah.
They wanted to put a stent in me last time, and I always seem to pass it the fucking night before the procedure. Sorry.
Now, hold on now. Can I ask you a question? Do you have what type of insurance do you have?
I mean, it's decent.
Dan, that's an insurance stint right there. Because I'm just telling you right now, man. You know how, Dan,
they never offered one to you.
That 6 millimeters, you wouldn't put a stent at 6 millimeters.
Must have good insurance like Lummies.
You start putting stents in it, like 12 and above. You start picking because So listen. They know that you got good insurance. They're trying to stint your insurance. They're trying to get a big insurance bills that they're trying to get.
Yeah, and 12 millimeters, Bubba, just for the rest of the world to understand, is half an inch in diameter.
Oh, that was the worst one. I was actually...
It's massive.
I had a 12 one time, and I was laying on my my big house, laying on the marble, trying to stay cool because your body's just profusely sweating as you're passing this big boulder through your penis, and it literally is like somebody stuck 14 butter knives right in the bottom of your stomach, and it just like it's almost unbearable pain, like you're having a child.
Oh, yeah.
I've only had to go I've gone to the hospital. I've had unbearable pain where I could not take it anymore. Only 2 times. I've passed 20 and only been to the hospital 3 times.
Good deal. Yeah, that was my last one in April. I just had one. I just passed one in April. I was fine for 2-3 months, and then boom. As soon as it got hot again, I'm out in the sun.
Now, has your urologist looked at it, and is it a over calcium problem? Is it a pH problem? Have they tried to diagnose as to why you're having them?
I caught it and gave it to him. I haven't been back because I passed it. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, mine was a pH. Mine's a pH problem that they can't seem to fix. So whatever.
Mine looked like a sand spur.
Yeah, those are
lovely.
Those are rookies. I got one of those. I got some of my kidney stones right here. I keep. Right here, look.
Nice.
Oh, I thought they had them. Somebody stole my kidney stones.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Along with something else.
Yeah, somebody sold my sex tape and my kidney stones. All right, my man. Hey, you know what? Pound water and take your Flomax. That's all I can tell you. And I'm not the doctor, but I think the doctor would say the same thing.
Yes, the same thing.
Urologist.
Don't run around dehydrated.
Can I?
Yeah, no, I try.
Don't take calcium.
Can I tell you something, sir? And I truly, I stick by it. anytime I got a kidney stone that's either stuck or I can feel it coming, I go to my racetrack and I take 2 gallons of water and I get on the grader. Now the grader, it bounces like you don't understand it. Literally, as you're driving it, it has no suspension. Because it's a heavy,
sure,
and it just bounces you around a lot. And usually, after 4 to 6 hours on the grader, Lummy, of bouncing it around, I truly feel that it kind of bounces the stone, down. Like I think it helps migrates the stone downward. I really do. Dan, is there anything? I mean,
Sure, absolutely. What about sex? Sex seems to work for me.
Good,
I don't
go
know if
for
it's
it.
Just a weird thing, but
if it
seems to work,
it's an added side benefit for you.
Thank God, kidney stones are not hooked up to the same plumbing as your ejaculant, because you can still have sex, and they say that sex sometimes will help move the stone along. But Dan, it's
Just push it out,
isn't
Dan?
it 2 different plumbings?
Well, they start off with different plumbings. They end up in the same plumbing.
I mean, after they get their Y intersection, they go down to the one main.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess would ejaculate help it?
It would help it for the very end part.
Or it might make it more gluey.
A weird side note. They did say one of my kidneys it presents like a weird. It's turned almost sideways and kind of shaped. They're turned differently. I
Dan,
guess, than the normal anatomy.
can your kidneys sit into you differently?
Yes, but usually it doesn't affect the ureter or the way it drains.
Yeah. So anyway, sir, we've taken kidney stone talk way too long. I appreciate your call.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good day, guys.
Net his herpes, $10 super chat.
Thank you for that. God, the phone lines are just listen. Please, no more doctor calls. Hello.
It's a doctor call.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a question for Dr. Dan.
Mm-hmm.
My father-in-law has been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, almost 2 weeks now. He fell on the side of the road walking back from 89-year-old man who can barely walk, decided he wanted to go buy a lottery ticket. Walking back home to his house, he passed out. Stranger found him on the side of the road, called 911. Ambulance took him to the hospital. He does have an ICD with a past history of AFib. Figured he was dehydrated, didn't know what truly was wrong. In the emergency room, funny story, this man who's a fall risk, decided to get up out of his bed in the emergency room, walk to a bathroom down the hall, use it, and proceed to go back and get into the wrong bed in the emergency room. He went unnoticed for about 45 minutes that he wasn't in his room. Gives you an idea of how attentive they are in the emergency room to people. He's transferred to a room upstairs. Friday, when he is checked in, he does get a CAT scan, and the doctor says, CAT scan's fine. He hit his head, but I don't see any bleeding. All is well. Let's continue his Eliquis and his aspirin and metoprolol and all the heart medications that he's currently on. Get him upstairs to his room. That night, he falls out of bed. No bed alarm goes off. He's outside the nurse's station. His room is literally outside the nurse's station. He was on the floor at 2 o'clock in the morning for God knows how long. It wasn't until, as noted by the nurses, found him during bed checks on the floor.
What time?
Gave him like close to 3 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so you've been laying there for about an hour.
45 minutes to an hour is what we have figured out.
Okay.
He's per their protocol.
Sounds like. Hold on. I hate to interrupt, but it sounds like it's coming from a Dan question over to a Jay question.
I
real
was
fast.
thinking with both of us
I'm thinking
questions.
like, this is bad care of not this is
You've given an excellent summary too, by the way.
Yeah. So continue on, sir. Let me continue on. This is a Jay. This is I had to loop Jay back into it. It's quickly becoming a Jay issue soon. Go ahead.
Well, the CAT scan done Saturday morning after the fall reveals a bloom of blood in his brain. Shows that there's some bleeding now after this fall. The doctor says, I see a brain bleed now. And they're like, well, that brain bleed wasn't there. The family says that brain bleed wasn't there on Friday when he came in. So this happened under your care. The doctor says he fell before. He had no idea. And they said then hours later, he says, looks like the original CAT scan was misread. He was bleeding then. Okay, so if you misread the CAT scan, said that he wasn't bleeding and continued him on his blood thinners, or did you not have any bleeding whatsoever, continue him on the blood thinners, and now Saturday he falls and now he's bleeding? Which one is it?
Wow. First of all, was this done at a convenience clinic or a hospital or
sounds like it's inpatient?
This is a reputable inpatient, very large hospital.
Okay, that's all we needed.
So this is a failure to implement a high-risk fall protocols, policies, and procedures. Every hospital has them. When someone comes in with a history of falling, there are certain protocols that must be implemented to prevent these people from falling again. They include seat alarms, socks that have little grippies on the bottom of it, putting the rails up. Sometimes people require 4-point restraints when they're going to be a risk to themselves because they may fall down and go boom and hurt their head. Now, we don't need to do a lot of this on the radio. I don't know that there's a case because he's an old guy already, but I think there's a liability, absolutely. And I just want to get the damages.
Is he married?
No, his spouse passed away several years ago.
Okay, they're going to try to make sure he dies. Don't let him die.
They placed the do not resuscitate bracelet on him yesterday.
Do not let, because once he dies, there is no case in the state of Florida. You have to have a surviving spouse or a child 25 years of age or younger in Florida, or the case dies with the person.
Let me ask you a question, sir. What are their prognosis? Like, what have they told you with regards to, how he's doing? Like, are they saying he's going to die? Are they saying he's going to recover?
So Sunday, when I saw him in the emergency room before he was transferred on Monday, he was talking to me. He knew my name. He knew everybody that was around him. He's an older guy, so he might confuse his kids, but eventually he gets it right. After he's moved now to critical care, where he's being taken care of, he can't form complete sentences. He is barely awake.
Was he living alone?
He is awake. What's that?
Was he living alone?
He was, unfortunately.
Okay, but I mean, that means the state of his condition was he was okay enough to live alone.
Independent to this.
He was independent.
Living alone's a good thing, sir, because it shows that he was independent. He could roll around and do cool stuff. And now, which makes it even more of worse in the fact that he's this vegetated after he actually lived alone and was fully functional. They've messed him up that badly. But I mean, Jay, is it imperative that if he starts the process of you treated Pops the wrong way and then Pops dies, but you did start the process, does he have a chance then, or
no? Dies with the patient. But here's a big question that actually may make a difference in the immediate.
Yeah, because there's two issues: how to keep him alive, right? Because you love your grandfather. Go ahead.
Who made the decision to make him a DNR? Who's his medical decision making? They can't make that decision on their own.
No. The doctor called yesterday and consulted the whole family. The family came in.
Well, you guys giving consent? That you guys have just given them consent to kill him. So pull the DNR and watch how his care changes. Pull the DNR immediately today, and his care will improve, guaranteed.
Okay.
And then also let the risk manager nurse know at the hospital that he's at.
Well, let me ask a question.
Hold on. First of all, you need to call Jay too.
You call me after the show if you. I mean, I'm happy to talk to you no matter what and talk you through this because you got a lot going on, and this is exactly what Danny and I do. So, in my mind, there's no question as to whether there's liability or not if they failed to implement policies and procedures. The question is whether or not there's any causation to where his current condition is, and if it would have made a difference if it had been identified earlier. I believe it's yes, yes, and yes. So give me a call, and I'm happy to go through it with you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. To add fuel to the fire, while he was there, they found a mass in his bladder, and they're telling us that now maybe he may not survive chemotherapy. He's got to have a feeding tube.
Well, that changes everything.
Because he's not stable enough. It's an absolute mess.
So that's why the DNR, Dan, may be right in the situation. They may have found some other comorbidities that make it, it got to a point.
Then they're going to let him die.
Yeah.
Well, but if you don't want him to die in the hospital, this hospitalization, pull the DNR. Guaranteed. That's just factual right now. You can figure out what the bladder mass is later. It's not going to kill him today. But if you want him to make it out of that hospital, pull the DNR and call our office, 888-SOS-FIRM.
Dan's a little different than I am. He just throws out ideas. And so if you guys made a family decision, and obviously it was based on more than a 5-minute discussion of what's going on. And
Correct.
So if you guys have other issues and reasons why you believe that this is the right decision for your family, then that's fine. What Danny's saying is if you have a 40-year-old person who had this exact situation, and all of a sudden they got a brain bleed. Pull the DNR. Do not let them. They will kill that person
because they want to harvest their own organs.
They want to harvest those young organs, and they want to make sure that they can avoid any liability. But if it's a 45-year-old person, most likely it's a surviving spouse or children. And so Danny's absolutely right. Just as a generality, is old people in Florida hospitals, they know that if they don't have a spouse or a 25-year-old child, that it's better to let them go. And it's a sad state of affairs because some of the worst malpractice cases I've seen have been people that don't have any surviving spouses or children 25 years of age or younger. And so I'm really, really sorry. Call me no matter what. Even if there is no damages or whatever in your decision to DNR, I'm happy to talk you through the situation personally. If you have medical questions, we can get Dan on the horn. But, 888-SOS-FIRM, F-I-R-M. Ask for Mel. She'll do a detailed intake, tell her you spoke to me on the air, and then I'll give you a call later today, okay?
All right, bud?
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
See you guys. Have a great day.
Bye, buddy.
Thanks again, Mommy.
Thank you.
I use marijuana? Hell yes. When do I use marijuana? Every fucking day.
I love him. He's so funny.
Before I go to bed. Take a gummy, and it's the greatest sleep in the world. When I'm in Hawaii, sit out under the stars.
This is so funny.
I know it.
Smoke a joint. I'm still here. As Elton John would say, I'm still standing. But guess what? I wake up the next day, clear as a bell, no cobwebs, and guess what? Not ashamed or embarrassed a bit. I've built the largest personal injury law firm in the world, taking a gummy every single day. Take his help.
You know what? It's true because he used to have major alcohol problems.
Yeah, no, he was a.
He was a bad drunk and he's not a bad stoner.
Weed has cleaned John up.
It sure has. I actually know a lot of people that when I was a kid used to throw darts, and now they're like so much mellower and cooler. You may be in that category.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got that. I'm gonna put up with that. Was that going to be an after show? Steph, that wasn't an after show, was it?
What?
The Morgan.
No.
Okay.
Morning, y'all. What up, Tim Albrecht?
Was the Lamborghini's going to be an after show?
No.
Okay.
We should save Caitlin Clark, though, for the after show.
I do, I will.
Yeah, that's what we can talk.
Yeah.
Everyone
That the
loves this.
Who can talk?
So much. I'm gonna need
That's
more.
a question
just
about
out to everyone.
would your life be better off if you never were friends with Hogan?
Oh, that's right. Perfect.
Okay.
Nick, you remind me of the way I eat. One day I'll eat like a big boy. What up, Doug God? Haven't seen that name before. Good morning to you, my friend. What up, White Iced Tea? Jay Bowler. J200 here, my friend. Double XL, what up? The Gary Cantrell, good morning. Paul, there's somewhere where they're getting about 4 people watching. Thuggish Ruggish Nerd.
What day?
I'm glad you like that, Paul.
Seth,
Thank
what
you.
day are you staying late for podcasting? Tuesday?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
What up, everybody?
That's your late day Tuesday.
I'm gonna get some of my videos over to Lomi. Boy, it was good. up to
The
having.
guys went from showing up an hour late to showing up fucking 30 minutes early.
Who's that?
Craig and Rio, because they know people are listening now and they like don't want to disappoint. They take it seriously.
Oh, sure.
Good. That's great.
Bonnie
Yeah,
would love
That's
that.
great.
No, I know.
Thank you, Nick. That'd be amazing.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
So what do you guys
They can
think?
get you out of here earlier
Extra
too.
large.
Because you can start whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah, they've been coming. I'm having been coming about 12:30 now, so I have like an hour.
Get them here earlier. That gets you out of here earlier.
Yeah, because they weren't coming till 2.
No, fuck that. If you can get here like 1:15.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
That can get you. I get you out of here at 2:30.
So I just chill for an hour. Like that's fine.
Even get him here sooner.
What do you think?
You know, we can start Clement Kush to make sure we're done. We're clear with Clement Kush by 11:30.
A little bit, right?
You know what I'm saying? Get them here at noon. You know, if you can.
I mean, let's be honest.
I don't mind a little break, to be honest. It's normally when I really try to vet what I'm going to ask those guys about.
Yeah, but
I don't do a lot of pre-prep for them. I normally do it on the day of.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Have you watched it?
She did watch it.
Oh, then yeah, you're good because that's not gonna.
That's all I do, Steve. Bubba, I watched more Suits, and I've had more people compare me to Harvey in the last month. Than
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what.
He's the biggest export from Warsaw, Indiana.
Oh, yeah! Bubba the Love Sponge.
Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Dan took off. Jay's up in here for a little bit, another hour. And then Lemmy will do the after show, which is, I think, me, you, Rhett, and Macho Man.
Cowboy Day Z239 1,000 bits.
Now, does that end up being a Does that end up being a standalone visual deal, or does that go? Is that a bother, where that'll go to be a podcast?
I think it's a double dipper.
That's a double dipper.
Yeah.
Double penetration for that. The Monday show's double penetrated. It's a podcast and also and as a live visual as well, and with a local kicker.
Yeah, I'm looking to find something to put in place of it Monday, but I mean, with 5 or 6, new podcasts a week, I'm good with putting up an uncensored show on Monday.
Right.
Not everybody goes to YouTube. I know a lot of people do, but I'll just keep it up there if you're lazy and just like to download stuff.
Don't forget this Saturday we'll be at Latin Sons celebrating Juneteenth. I got to think, Lummy, that we might be the only major radio or content provider in Tampa in that little world that's actually doing a Juneteenth promotion.
I think so.
Giving back to predominantly the African American community, because that's where we're situating the festivities at Latin Sons Barbershop. What's the actual physical address of that, Seth? Do you know?
Yeah, just give me a second here.
Cowboy Day Z239 1,000 bits.
It was on Colton's prep sheet from a week ago.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down because all week I'm gonna promote it, obviously, and I'd like to have. We're gonna be there Saturday 1 to 3.
Yep.
Okay.
2400 Dr. Martin Luther King Street South.
That sounds so. 2400 MLK South, St. Pete, Florida. Right.
Yep.
There you go. Let me.
It's not Compton, people. Okay.
So it's at 23rd Avenue South. So it's 23. So it's 23 blocks south of Central.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 2400 Martin Luther King Street, St. Pete, 1 to 3. Now, we're going to have the Cash Cube.
Yes, we are.
We're going to have
Sponsored by Diaco Law.
The Diaco Law Cash Cube. We'll make sure we say that. We're going to be live on YouTube when we do this. And then we're going to have the prize wheel. And on the prize wheel, I think we have sunglasses, koozies, a T-shirt,
ducks,
a hat.
You should have Alpha.
No, you can't be bringing out the
You can't put that on there? It's not one of the things you could win?
How many bottles, Jay, does he have?
Jay, I literally only have like 4 bottles.
Well, that's 4 winners.
Well, I mean, Jay,
sorry.
I only got 4 left in the entire run. I think I need to keep those myself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Jay's trying to keep some of that $10,000 by putting other things on the wheel. So, I mean, put a little alpha.
Seth figured it out. Come on, don't we have something for like the ducks, the Bubba ducks?
Jay's like, we need more slots on that
Fewer
prize
slots.
wheel, but there's only, Jay, you'll know that there's only one slot on the prize wheel that gets him the cash cube.
I'm just kidding. I think it's great. I just thought that maybe that was one of those good times to drop alpha.
So anyway, Lummy, this Saturday, 1 to 3, I think we're the only real show in Tampa that's celebrating Juneteenth, and not just celebrating it by showing up but actually having an opportunity for you to win cash and other prizes as well. We got Bubba Army sunglasses. We got Bubba Army koozies.
Get some food. Get a haircut, man. Culture yourself a little bit. It should be a great time.
And you know what? Just maybe you'll get in that cash cube. And let me, what we're doing, 15 seconds?
Yes, 15.
I wonder, Mach, should I buy an air horn? I probably need to buy like a little mini air horn.
No, they'll come get you.
What do you mean?
I mean, parts of the hood that don't like air horns at that time of day. That isn't going to fly.
Well, how do you
Why don't you just bring a siren, too?
I mean, Bubba, either shoot a gun or don't do anything. But
Right.
just
bring a megaphone.
Well, I got to have somebody on the switch there.
Yes.
To stop the blowing at 15 seconds. You know.
What is that?
Now, I think, Mach, I think we have a countdown clock, do we not?
Yes.
We have a countdown clock. And let me, at that point, maybe I'll bring a little air horn. I'm sorry, Seth, that's going to make the African-American community upset, but I think it's going to be I think there's going to be 400 or 500 or 600 people. Like, this place is going to be just absolutely slammed.
I hope so, but I don't want that to discourage anybody from the Bubba Army to come out there. Like,
No.
you can park, throw your car, and just come on and hang out for a little bit.
Come hang out. We got food, and we got an opportunity. Now, we're going to do a dry run of the whole thing tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
And I think we're taking my truck and the Crown Vic.
Perfect.
And those will...
Am I going with you guys or no?
Yeah, I mean...
Do you need a trailer or anything to put all the
Nope.
stuff in?
Nope,
You
we're
sure?
good. We're
Okay.
good.
I got stuff like that if you ever need it.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
My truck, Lummy, and the Crown Vic. We'll be able to get everything in. The Crown Vic's got a big...
It's got a big trunk.
Big trunk. I mean, they got trunks made to put bodies in and stuff. So, Seth, probably the day of, are you going with us? That would kind of be counter, because where you live is closer to it than here.
No, I'll be down at the barbershop early on Saturday.
Okay,
I'll probably
cool.
get there at like noon.
Okay, cool.
So
and
if you need
that's
anything
probably
done,
about time we're going to try to get there around noon, so we're set up. Well, we're probably going to get there about 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be down there. I'll be floating on whatever you guys need. I can, anything you need, anything Craig needs, I can be the liaison to make it all come together.
What time does it formally start?
1.
Okay, and it's from 1 to
3.
That's awesome.
And so, everybody's going to be in line, and we have our little sign. Don't you think we actually have a pretty ingenious setup?
Yeah.
And I don't even know, do you think we'll get 600-700 signups in a day? What do you think we're gonna do? Is it gonna be
at least a couple hundred?
I mean, at least a couple hundred.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and go, there's gonna be 500 people out there. I have no idea, but I do hope that a lot of the Bubba Army comes out. I know a lot of people from the neighborhood will be there, and I think it's just the perfect pairing. I hope their chants break out like at the Eric Andre show.
Now we're gonna have a big TV on a stand.
Nice.
That is the monitor for you to, and then Seth or Rhett or somebody is going to put their phone on a tripod or something like that. But we're going to be live on our YouTube channel.
It's going to be a little better than a phone.
Okay, so sorry. Hey, Rhett.
That's what everything seems like to Bubba. All you do is on a phone.
Well, no. Here's the deal. I figure if I lowered my expectations to it being phone quality, then whatever you spit out is going to be great. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
So I'm like, man, it looks all I was expecting was phone quality. So anyway, we're going to be live from down there, so you don't have to be there and be able to see. And this is the first time that we've ever brought out the Diaco Law Cash Cube. And this is our.
It's going to be a cool ass stream too. This is the kind of stuff that I've wanted to be part of for a while, whether we're at events or whether we're watching, the Logan Paul or Jake Paul, whatever one, Tyson fight, like more of that stuff, more of those events, just more of the things that we don't know what's going to happen out there that's going to end up getting caught on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
I'm
hard
excited.
telling what, it's hard telling what we get, who shows up and the humanity involved. And then, Lummy, we need to figure out whether we're going to do the Morgan Wallen deal.
Yeah, July 11th.
I'm going to the concert.
July 12th.
12th.
And so since Jay's going to the concert, I'm assuming he might be using his box.
I am.
Which means, Lummy, we might be able to get Dan and Jay to pull us like a little parking favor.
We probably can.
Yeah, like you
There
did.
we go.
Isn't Stein going to that? I thought Alex.
Dude, that's going to be one heck of a show. I'm not a big country guy, as you know, but my wife is. But that's going to be one hell of a show. A lot of people are going to be there.
Listen,
and
you want to see
those
hot
events?
chicks?
It's the best.
You want to see hot chicks? Go to a big time country concert.
Especially Morgan Wallen.
Oh my God, the bitches go crazy.
Well, everyone in the crowd is just having fun. They're the most fun concerts of any concerts I go to. I don't know any of the lyrics, but everyone else in the crowd knows every single word to every song. Everyone is drunk off their asses, having the best time ever. They're so much fun.
So, Lummy, those are the only 2 dates I have with regards to the Cash Cube.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything else
And then
so far.
we'll figure out events as it happens. So John Morgan, as you know, and I think that we've been watching TV like on Channel 35 out of Orlando, Fox 35, that the initial polling of is it Amendment 2 and 4 or 2 and 3?
3 is the marijuana one, I believe.
Okay, 2 is the abortion, and 3 is the marijuana. And it's looking, and both of them, and when you have amendments or amendments or whatever to the Florida Constitution, state-wise, it has to have, it has a
60.
It's instead of 51% majority, it has to have a 60% majority in order to be law. And the last one we probably had that a lot of people, participated.
Oh, we crushed medical in 2016, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was.
And it's looking like Rec is going to crash. It looks like Rec's going to crush it.
It will.
And so,
but like Jay was saying, it's not. It's
not.
I just read it. There's the problem with these amendments, Bubba, is they're so complicated that I have difficulty reading them. And like the last one, I usually say to people, if it's a constitutional amendment, say no to it. We don't need more amendments to the Constitution.
No, you got to say yes.
No, but I'm not on this one because normally it takes forever, another law or something to try to get something removed. But they did the one with solar panels a few years, maybe in 2016. And it sounded so good, but what it did was prevent you from being able to sell your power back to the government from the grid. And so a lot of times the wording of it is really, really difficult to understand. On these two, my understanding is that they're both, for what you and I and everyone in the show believe in, they're probably both yeses.
Yeah, number 2 is the abortion. I think raising it to 23 or 24 weeks.
It's 4.
What?
It's Amendment 4.
Amendment 4.
Well, this is just to have abortions in Florida, right? Because isn't it illegal?
Making it a constitutional amendment, protecting it from those crazy laws the legislature did the 6 weekend.
On Amendment 4, does it give any?
I thought it went to viability, but
viability.
All right, so what's viability?
It says generally considered to be between 23 and 24 weeks.
What I just say a minute ago.
Yeah. So
thank you. Say you're sorry.
The thing about viability that's a really good thing for people that care is it gives a little bit of subjectivity.
Yeah, so
it's not a bad
4,
thing. Viability is way better than 6 weeks.
It's the best thing. It's really about the best. It's about the best option you're going to get.
Intellectually honest, the most of all.
So yes on 4,
With DeSantis and Rick Scott are going to get moved out of the state after this
allows
election.
which allows women. Now when Amendment 4 passes, like by 65, 67%, what does that show the extreme right and the evangelical right and some of the draconian laws that DeSantis has made in his second term, ratcheting it down to, like 5 weeks? I mean, what's that show them? It shows them that you're wrong. As a politician, when you ratchet it down and you get overturned by the public to the tune of almost 70%, you were wrong. Your opinion is not of it is not that of the people you represent. You get hired into office to represent the people, and you're supposed to be, the mouthpiece for what the people want. They elected you. But these Republican governors that have locked down these abortion laws down to 0, 2, 4, 5 weeks. We just got locked down. Just what? July 1st? No, July. When is it? July 1st that it gets locked down? Is it July 1st that it gets locked down, or have they already locked it down?
They already did.
So they already locked down abortion here in Florida from like 16 to 18 weeks down to like 5. That's what the rules are. So when you get your as a politician, if you're the governor and you're the one that made that rule, which our governor did, Ron DeSantis is the one that locked abortion down. Did he not?
Mm-hmm.
It was his ruling.
It was the Republican legislature, and then a law that he could have vetoed and left the 15-week law in place, and he chose not to.
He chose not
signed
to.
it.
And he is supposed to be the spokesperson for the people. Well, when the people then have a chance to actually vote on that subject, and they open it up wide open, completely opposite of what you have. Having Amendment 4 is completely opposite of what Ron DeSantis ruled upon. Am I not right?
Yes.
I mean, he basically locked it down to being, 4 to 6 weeks. Some women don't even know they're pregnant till
I think it's explicitly 6 weeks.
It's 6 weeks.
Now, yeah.
Which is borderline makes it just fully illegal across the board.
Well, it's
'cause
impossible.
No one knows when they're pregnant at 6 weeks. I
My
mean, unless you're
wife is
trying
skinny and had irregular periods, and so I didn't know with either of my children at 6 weeks whether she was pregnant or not. And it's people trying to get pregnant.
So people don't even know till 10, 12 weeks.
They make it always seem like it's that my 16-year-old pregnant kid, and it's some fat dumb kid who's having a baby on the toilet, but that's not what it is at all.
So when you get your ass kicked, when the people that you represent has the ability to go, it happens to be an amendment change on our general population voting, on our general election, and we have an opportunity to vote for it, and we the people of Florida, by an overwhelming response of like 65 to 70% want it, a lot more lenient than it is now.
And we're a red-ass state.
And we're a red-ass state. So Kansas, they don't realize that
Ohio just did
no
this.
matter how red your state is, the red that lives in your state doesn't want abortion illegal. That's the one thing that you red politician have wrong.
I haven't
You
seen
have
a
it
state
wrong.
where they've won it yet. Every
They
one
haven't.
where they've had those crazy laws that have either restricted it or outlawed it.
They've gotten their ass kicked.
They've got their asses kicked in the ballot amendment because the people aren't going to put up with it. And so,
Nope.
in the old days, Bubba, 20 years ago when I was a young lawyer and there was a murder trial and someone killed a pregnant woman, the issue was viability. If the baby was viable, it was a double homicide.
Right.
If the baby wasn't viable, it was just a single homicide. And so that's been like the intellectually honest opinion in my mind for a couple of decades.
Since they use that in law, then that's what they should use in the rule.
It makes common sense, does it not?
Yeah, be unilaterally the same. Can't be the same if I kill a girl and the baby was not viable, and I don't get charged for double murder, just the one.
Well, just use those weeks. 6 weeks, it's not viable. There's no 6-week baby that's going to live. There's no term.
So I hope to God, they're saying 4 is going to pass, no problem.
And by the way, this comes from a guy who's a Catholic guy, and I believe intellectually, I'm philosophically against it, but this is like what's real. This is what real people think. And so when they try to calculate who is an evangelical, who's a Catholic, who's a right wing, there's a lot of people just like me that will put away the dogma of their religious beliefs because they believe in common sense and they believe in a woman's right to access these things. So
when we come back,
my mom would be mortified to hear this.
John Morgan breaks down the weed deal. And Jay, you broke down the weed deal too. And is it not nearly as cool as what we think it is?
I couldn't find anything on that. No, I couldn't find anything on it. So I'm trying to read the actual amendment. It's funny. It's hard to find the actual amendment.
Will you try to find it?
I found it, and I think it looks all good.
Can you send it to me so we can break it down?
Yep.
John Morgan's excited for it.
Wait, they're going to tax the hell out of this one, aren't they?
For sure.
I mean,
yeah, big time.
I mean, we're gonna have to get through this. Let me send it to me if you can.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
There's not going to be a THC limit.
Well, you know what's interesting is when you see the lady from True Leaf and another big dispensary, Jungle Boys, are the people saying, we want it. There's got to be a reason why they're saying that, Seth.
Oh no! I think they've been ready to. They've been a lot of these places, and there's only like 6 or 7 weed licenses that you can have, I think, in Florida.
Right.
So these people have been ready for full-on legalization for years. Like they have the warehouse, they've got the infrastructure. Like they've just been waiting to get the go-ahead.
It's just, when you see the people that are for it, True Leaf and the Bellamy brothers, it's like Kim Rivers. It's all about improving access. We came into this with a mission to provide access to high-quality products. And it's interesting is the pharmaceuticals excluded from it. I think it's probably a yes.
No, I think it's a yes. I think that with a place like True Leaf, I hope that they either have certain stores for medicine and certain stores for just rec.
Yes.
I feel like you got to have it different for.
It's a whole different vibe with the rec stores.
I sent you the link for it.
Okay.
I messaged you.
When I was in LA, I saw that they had rec only. Medical only places.
But all the rec places do medical too.
Right.
And it just gives you a different amount. You can do your allotment, your consumption allowance.
I just think without knowing the numbers right now, I think the money that I pay to keep my weed license is probably cheaper than if I quit that and just paid the new tax on recreational. Because I think the new recreational tax is going to make up for what people have been paying for their weed licenses. And
that's the only thing is it doesn't say that kind of stuff in there. You know, it's like I'm looking. Okay, it's amendment. Let's see. Requirements before majority, Florida, 6%. Amendment 3, 2. Right. It's just so hard to even find the amendments. Like that's when, you know how fucked up the media is. It's like when you go online and you can't find the actual. You just find people's interpretations of it. Where is it? My Florida. Okay, there it is. Show full text.
Man, I can't believe we've had medical since 16. That's fucking crazy.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Right, it really doesn't.
Time flies as we get older. It's weird.
Which I guess it probably didn't go into play until 17, but still.
Passed in 16 and then really not implemented until like July, August of the next year, remember? It took them like a half a year to get all the fuckery.
Well, they made it so difficult for these fucking places at first, man. They've all had to change the rules so many times because DeSantis keeps tweaking shit. Trying to suck out our fucking THC percentages. This guy wants us sucking 9%. We need 32. I think maybe you get 10 complaints about America a morning, and then maybe it's just time to go to another chat room. It's not helping this show at all. I'm on my own. It's okay. What's DeSantis derangement syndrome? The fact that he's against medical marijuana? The fact that
now where does DeSantis stand on all this shit?
He's against it fucking all, man.
He's against it for sure.
But he's going to benefit financially the most.
It has like some arguments of who's for and against, and it shows Morgan for and Truly for.
Dun, 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 dun.
DeSantis' argument is literally, the initiative is very, very extreme. Once voters figure out how radical both of these are, they're going to kill them. It's basically a license to have it anywhere you want. So anytime, no place, no manner restrictions. The state will start to smell like marijuana in our cities and towns.
Nobody could use fucking THC more than that guy.
Well, you're not supposed to use it in public anyway.
Bubba the Love Sponge. The only man that thinks ketchup is a food group. It's pretty tasty. Back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
We were talking about Amendment 3 and 4, which will be on the general ballot for us Floridians here. I apologize if you're not consuming the show in Florida. This means nothing to you.
I think so many states are ahead of us, Bubba.
Yeah. And if it's not, if you're not dealing with it now, you will be. Just like, we're dealing with what Colorado went through 10 years ago.
Yep.
Or so. So it's just a matter of time between, the last state will be Indiana because they're the most squarest when it comes to they are so anti-weed in Indiana. Oh my God. They're the worst. There'll be state 51 that finally approves some type of nonsense. But I think eventually, the entire country will be have some type of marijuana, allowance, whether it be the most restrictive, which is medical.
You think every state will have at least medical?
I think in our lifetime, every state will have at least medical. Right now it's 27 states have some sort of marijuana kind of deal.
When we were kids, there was 0. And if you look at what's happened, it's about what's happening with us, Seth. It's about a 10-year behind pharmaceutical. Once they do medical, about 10 years later, recreational comes in.
So about 10 years from now, Indiana will finally have, medical marijuana 10 years from now. In 1034.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So by 2050, it'll be recreational there.
So Florida has Amendment 4, which is the abortion deal, and a vote yes for that means that if over 60% of the Floridians vote yes, then it becomes law, and that is that women can get abortions up till the baby is viable, which is disputed between 23 and 24, 5, 6 weeks. So right now, we're locked in. Our lovely governor locked us down to 5 or 6 weeks, just completely took it upon himself. And then our lovely governor also wants a no vote on legalization of marijuana.
I lost the baby at 23 weeks, by the way. Sorry. Just to throw that out there as far as viability and stuff. I also lost one at 19 and 21. So I've had them all there, but yeah, it's but
it was it was nice to be able to have that medically taken care of, wasn't it? I'm not saying nice.
Well, no,
Phoebe
had to,
but she had the availability to go somewhere in our state and get I think she didn't she? Within
well, she was. This was a few years ago, but she was she gave birth to all the babies. They were all essentially stillborn. So we went through. We lost our first one at 19. We lost twins at 21, and then we lost. Then we lost another one at 23 weeks. We just were trying to hold on to 24.
Well, thank God you got one good one.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's great. It makes her more special.
No, for sure.
Amendment 3 is the marijuana gimmick. Now it has to pass by 60% as well, just like the abortion deal. But what happens when? And I think every state that Jay and we had talked about earlier, every state, some of them even have these trigger laws that if Roe v. Wade ever got overturned, that it automatically triggered into it being illegal.
Right.
There was actually a handful of states that had Roe v. Wade trigger laws, And it went from like being kind of wide open to when Roe v. Wade got overturned, 0, done. So then those states went and had a referendum or an amendment and stuff. And even the red, like I think Louisiana and Nebraska and some of these states that had these trigger laws, they put it up for vote, and overwhelmingly by like 70 to 30%, people of these very conservative red states said we want the ability for our women and men, I guess, to be able to have the option to do what they want with their body. And including, being able to, under some extreme circumstances, being able to get an abortion until the baby's viable. That's what people have. That's not necessarily my opinion, although it is my opinion. But that's also overwhelmingly what every state that's had a vote on this has voted. So I'm not the odd guy out here. This is what people want. So doesn't that show the draconian, shove down your throat, the Bible governor that was so very popular at one time? Doesn't it show that you kind of got that one wrong?
It does. It shows both sides, actually. It shows the extreme right is wrong at 6 weeks, and it shows the extreme left is wrong with late in the third trimester. They're both wrong. The people, 80%, you watch this thing about, this ballot will probably pass by, I bet, 70%.
And the more it
that just shows you've now grouped people together.
The more that it passes by, the more it just goes to show you how bought and paid for and road mapped our politicians are. They're not truly representing what you want. They're representing what their party's agenda is. They're not representing by what the constituents that they represent want. No. Because when we have our opportunity to speak, we say we want abortion and we want weed. But you want to say no to both. So Lummy, Amendment 4, obviously, yes, that's going to pass. They're saying in all the pre-polls and stuff that's going to pass.
Yeah.
So it looks like abortion will be, a 23, 24-week deal here in Florida. And quite frankly, I'm very happy about it. I'm very happy that a woman or a couple don't have to travel 5 or 6 states away to be able to, get an abortion for whatever reason, whether the baby's, has markers of Down syndrome or whether the baby's having in today's world, in Florida's world, you can have a baby that has at 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, where some of these markers start showing. Listen, the real scary markers, Jay, you've been through it. The real scare, and Dan's a doctor. If he was here, he could give us obviously the pro opinion. But the really bad markers, like the Down syndrome and cleft palate and things like that, they really don't start rearing their ugly head till like 12, 13, don't they?
Exactly, and you really don't know anything until that 15-week ultrasound. That's when we found out that Trey had hydronephrosis, which is a terrible condition, had half his kidney removed at 6 months. But that's when we found out
Not at 6 weeks.
No. And that's when we found out we had a pregnancy where there was a genetic abnormality that was a possibility, and we had to make a decision within a week, and thankfully everything was okay. But, we would have made that tough decision the other way if those genetic abnormality markers had come back. So we had to do the triple test and had to have, a real puncture. And thank God it turned into Sage, but my wife and I, we just didn't say the word out loud, but we both because I don't like it, I don't want it, but it's a part of life,
right?
And so we just wouldn't say the word,
right?
And we both were like, what, we're gonna do whatever we have to do, because
but that's what it would be called,
right? Because this one was one where the baby would not live past 6 weeks,
right?
And would be brutal.
But in today's world, you can't do what you got to do. It's illegal.
Right now in Florida, that intellectual discussion that my wife and I had, who are loving parents and want to have children and want to have more kids to be good citizens, we could not do that now.
Right. Okay, so Lummy, you sent me the weed bill.
Yes.
We're definitely. Yeah, I think as a show, would it be safe to say, Seth, that as a show, we can be politicky here, and as a show, we can say the Bubba the Love Sponge show says yes on 4.
Is that abortion?
Yeah.
But Bubba, everyone thinks you're so right wing and everything. That's not a very right wing position.
No,
guys.
that's very left.
It's not even
That's
left.
very-
It's very common sense in my mind.
Well, I mean, but it's if you score it out, it scores left, right?
I hate
That's the
scoring.
world.
I hate
That's the
scoring things
world
like
we
that.
live in. That's the world we live in. You just got to score that blue, but then and then you got to score marijuana blue too. Legalizing marijuana, that's kind of a liberal thing too. So I'm heavily blue on 3 and 4, but I hate the immigration problem the Democrats have brought us. I hate the economy. I hate the inflation, and I think that the Democratic candidate for president is not present.
I think 3 and 4 are more purple than you think now, because I think there's a lot of people like me and Seth out there that would have been one way or the other, and now we're just common sense about it.
Right.
And so, we probably come from political stripes that are completely different, and yet we think exactly alike on these.
What now?
And that's not going to prevent me from voting the way I'm going to vote for president, and it's going to not prevent him from voting the way he's going to vote
Here's
for
the deal.
president.
I can vote for Trump, but I'm also voting, yes on 3 and 4. What does that show you? I'm my own man. I'm not towing the corporate GOP line.
Well, I think, Bubba, I think abortion, weed, and Trump will all pass and win in Florida.
That's the mission statement.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I don't think it's that far fetched if you're going to vote for weed and abortion that you're voting for Trump. I
Right.
think it's all pretty much locked in together.
Well, those are freedom things too. Actually, both of
Yeah,
those.
but it's amazing how our governor is so against it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to 3, and 3 is the marijuana legalization initiative, and it's basically the recreational marijuana. Now, what does that do? Or for those that have read it, Lummy and Jay, what does Amendment 3 do that's so much different than what we have now, which is having a medical marijuana card, going down to the dispensary, buying it through that way?
Yep.
What does the recreation portion of this differ from the medical portion?
It defines personal use as the possession, purchase, or use of a marijuana product or marijuana accessory by an adult 21 years of age or older for non-medical personal consumption by smoking, ingestion, or otherwise. That's no longer illegal.
I think up to 3 ounces?
Yep, up to 3 ounces.
So you can have 3. Now, do you have to have 3 ounces of stuff that has a prescription?
No. And the law goes on and says an adult need not be a qualifying patient, meaning you don't have to have a license, in order to purchase marijuana products or marijuana accessories for a personal use from a medical marijuana treatment center. So that answers your question. You do not have to buy it from a medicinal marijuana center.
You don't have to even buy. You can buy it from Guido down the street.
Yes, and then it goes on and says an individual's possession of marijuana for personal use shall not exceed 3 ounces of marijuana, except that not more than 5 grams of marijuana may be in a form of a concentrate. So that means you can either have 5 grams of concentrate, which is a ridiculously large amount, or 3 ounces, and you don't get in trouble.
Now, do they have any growing aspects? Because a lot of times with rec, they'll allow each person of however many people live in your home, you're allowed 3 plants per person. I don't know. Have they broke that down, Lummy, with regards to, because a lot of people like to grow their own.
I'm looking here. I'm trying to. I don't see.
Because a lot
it
of times
here.
they'll be like, okay, you can have 2 plants.
I didn't see anything about grow in those definitions that I was talking about. Did you hear any grow, Seth, as I was reading? I didn't hear the word grow.
No.
That's usually part of the rec deal.
It might not be part of this proposal,
It's
Bubba.
not actually, because the ballot summary says allows 21 years of age or older to possess, purchase, or use use marijuana products and marijuana accessories for non-medicinal personal consumption by smoking, ingestion, or otherwise. So it doesn't say anything about growing. Hold on.
That might be in 2 or 4 years.
Cultivate, possess.
I think they're always with the rec legalization of marijuana. They always have a per plant growing provision.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's so hard to
Always.
understand this.
They always do.
I'm looking through the definitions right now. I don't see anything about that, but I'm gonna keep going.
Bubba, this could be a thing in 2 or 4 years when we vote again. That's like, hey, you can grow up to so many plants that you can bake this many edibles. I think they'll eventually do that. But when Jay talked earlier, who's lobbying to legalize marijuana, it's not people that want you to grow your own plants at home.
Right.
No, it's John Morgan.
No, it's even worse.
It's True Leave.
It's True Leave.
It's the people. Yeah.
Here's what John Morgan has
Kim,
to say.
what's her name? Hold on a sec. Supporters. Kim Rivers, the Bellamy brothers, which are two of the largest national medical marijuana producers that there is. I think True Leave is the biggest. Is it not, Seth?
Yes.
The Bellamy brothers went from singing to growing weed?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They wish it was the same Bellamy
You know,
brothers.
people ask me,
John Morgan, the John Morgan.
do I use marijuana? Hell yes. When do I use marijuana? Every day.
He said every effing day.
Before I go to bed. I take a gummy, and it's the greatest sleep in the world. And when I'm in Hawaii, I sit out under the stars, and I smoke a joint, and I'm still here. As Elton John would say, I'm still standing. But guess what? I wake up the next day, clear as a bell, no cobwebs. And guess what?
Hold on, here's the deal.
Not ashamed or embarrassed a bit.
Here we go. And here it is. And it's true, Jay. You know it.
Built the largest personal injury law firm in the world.
Yep.
Taking a gummy every single night. I think it's helped me.
So I read it's they're not going to allow you to grow your own plants.
It's not.
So-
They're saying you got to really read these things. As a lawyer, a 30-year lawyer, I've read this thing 4 times in the last half an hour.
So
it makes sense, though, right? I mean, for the people that are backing it, they don't necessarily want you to start, creating a product.
I'm not saying.
Now it makes sense, Seth.
I'm not saying you should grow it or not like that, but I just said a lot of times. Like, remember Blind James?
Yeah.
That when rec went legal in California, Blind James had like he had a 4-bedroom home, and he only needed 1 bedroom to sleep in, and the other 3 bedrooms were full blown weed harvest rooms. And Lummy, he had it all set up with like the lights and the water spritzer and the humidity control and the whole nine. Remember, he would have like garbage bags full of it. Remember?
Oh yeah, he was killing it.
But there should be something in there that allows you to personally cultivate for yourself, because that's what the California laws were, and then they got a little too broad and they allowed people to do what you're saying. And I actually have a client who moved to Colorado and got in the industry, is what I'll call it. And the problem is
the growing industry.
Yeah, and the problem is in Colorado is they allow you to cultivate it, but then not distribute it unless you have a distribution license. And so these people that I know were in there cultivating it legally, but then they had no way to distribute it. And so they were distributing it in probably a way that may not have been
right
according to the statutes and policies and procedures of Colorado.
Did they get in trouble?
Trying to hopefully make it go away.
So you're in the midst of it.
I'm trying to help that person, but it's the same ambiguity, this grayness in the law where maybe this one's better, Seth. But like you're saying, the reason that True Leave's following or supporting is because no one can grow now.
Yep.
So all they're going to get is better captive patients. People are going to have to get it somewhere.
Are they going to put a lot of times they'll put a cap on the THC and try to really choke you down to like 8 or 9.
Right.
Yeah, that's DeSantis' big thing.
When marijuana should be like 30. Like really good stuff is Seth, isn't like between 28 and 30 like the real good stuff?
Yeah, they got some, that's probably the top shelf. But, I think DeSantis, things got lowered as far as like how much you were able to get. Like instead of being able to get, like 2 ounces, you can get 1 ounce. Like,
but what's the potency now of
flower?
What's like the highest THC you can buy right now at a legal dispensary with your card?
I mean, for what I do concentrate, so I'm at like 88%. Some of the flower I've seen like around 32, 33.
Mm-hmm.
That seems low compared to the 88.
Well, it's a different kind of calculation.
This is like fully concentrated. So it's not like just the full, it's everything that you just need to get high.
So I got to go. I got to do some words and come back before so I'm not desperately late. But Jay, I was going through Morgan and Morgan. I saw the Morgan and Morgan, him and talking about weed, and I love John. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually done some legal stuff for us. But so, and he is the largest in the world. And so I'm going through his Twitter, and he actually tweeted his verdicts from just last week. And Jay, you being in, virtually that you're in the personal injury, and
for sure.
You're in that arena. Obviously a small boutique shop compared to John Morgan's, largest in the world. And so on their Twitter, They actually tweeted their settlements of just last week. Now, this isn't, all time. This isn't since, January 1st. This is just from last week. Just from last week. I'll get to that next.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Yeah, True Leave CEO Kim Rivers says, it's all about improving access. We came into this with a mission to provide access to high-quality products that are safe and have an appropriate value proposition to give folks control over in their days. Medical journey, it doesn't even make sense. Because if you can't cultivate it, then who do you grow it from other than medical people? Who can grow it legally?
No, I mean, nobody.
Only people with only people that bought the license from the state of Florida.
So they're going to be able to open up recreational facilities, Seth.
Yeah. And they'll be only.
It's always a money grab.
It's a rack.
It's always a money grab.
Don't they say always follow the money?
For sure.
Oh wow, Eric Andre really did embrace you. I'm looking at it now. That's good. It's a fun time, man.
What's up, Bulldog Tommy? It's us at 9:50 months.
Two of the arguments against it actually make sense, but wouldn't make me vote against it. But one is, why are you confusing medicinal patients with non-medicinal patients in the same law? You should keep them separate. I agree with that.
Yes.
And then the Florida Solicitor General says what I said about how difficult they are to understand. He said the carefully curated ballot summary misleads in ways that, though sometimes subtle, are likely to influence voters, and to do so in a way that entrenches the sponsor's monopolistic stranglehold in the marijuana market to the detriment of Floridians. What you and I just took us half an hour to come to the conclusion that True Leave and all the dispensaries are the only people that can grow it. So they're all the ones that are going to have the infrastructure, and they'll have the medical the recreational dispensaries will be out.
I think cops don't. I think they're going to be like, I don't got time for this bullshit.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend to have a grow house in Florida.
No.
Man, if the DEA isn't worried about fentanyl and shit, and they're worried about fucking grow houses, man, they're still just wasting money on that program.
Yeah.
I'd only take down a grow house just to go, all right, you guys are going to need to pay taxes on this. We're going to let you guys save the money.
Exactly.
I mean, just send us a check and we're good.
Right. Let's just be about $1,800.
Yeah.
All right, so I just added up all of Morgan & Morgan's awards.
Oh, my God.
I added all of them. I'll tell you the number, Jay, when we get... This is just last week.
Why don't we read our financial statements from last week?
Because people will fucking think we're going under.
We're not going under, we're going up.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's the big debate. Up, down, or staying in place. Where are we going?
Well, you need to sit down because we're getting ready to go on the air.
No, I got a minute. I'm full min here.
Let me see if we got any fucking PayPal Willies. We had Fish on the J today for 100.
Thank you.
Been a little bit of a slow day today.
Well, Dan Wiz, he said it in the first segment that he is.
You're being awful loud over there, Seth.
Sorry.
He's the biggest Longhorn Steakhouse groupie. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Is it me or is it just hot as absolute balls outside?
Yes, the worst.
I think I saw something yesterday that this was the hottest May in the history of Florida. The May we just went through, Lummy, might have been the hottest May in the history of Florida, and I think June's right behind it.
Aren't we supposed to get like 2 straight weeks of rain?
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, we are.
We need it. Do we not?
Yes,
Lettuce Lake is all but dried up.
Let me. Our pond needs it so very bad. So Jay, because this is the arena that you live in, and you've had some big cases, some big ones. Mm-hmm. You've had some big ones, but you're not rolling like this. And so Morgan & Morgan last week tweeted top verdicts and settlements for the week. And I went and added them all together. One of their guys last week won $5 million. Then there's a $2 million, $1.5 million, $1.25 million, $1.15 million, million, 987, 942, 900, 850, 850, 800, 800, 800, 785, 750, 750, 700. 650, 650, 625, 613, 595, 550, 550, 500, 500, and 500. And last week alone, Jay, they won $29.5 million.
Nationwide. And they probably have offices in almost every state.
Oh yeah, they're in Los Angeles, New York, down like there. If you go to Times Square,
I only had 4 offices and 10,000 cases.
You did?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
State of Florida, and that's where I'm going again. I just opened up an Orlando office, opened up a Miami office. That's where I'm going again.
Morgan & Morgan.
Yeah, how about that? How about just a Florida firm?
Hey,
boutique Florida firm.
I know, but man, how about?
Oh, he's a big swinging D. Come on,
your third puts you at $10 million for the week.
Which barely covers a third of his overhead that week.
How much do you think Morgan's giving to Biden?
A lot. Hold on.
A lot, Seth.
I think
as much as you can.
I think John. One time when him and I were talking, we used to be super close. We would talk on the phone for hours. Me and John would about the craziest stuff. I know some stuff. I would take to my grave, just some really, crazy stuff.
Wow.
And I think John, and this was before Jay, this is probably 10 years ago, before he kind of became the self-proclaimed largest in America. He was just really big. He was probably at that point considered like a top 10 guy, but now he is the largest. And he told me at that time that, with all of his offices, now that's when I don't think he had an LA office at the time. I don't know. He probably had half as many offices then as he does now. And he told me it took him, I think it was $15 million a month to pay the bills.
Oh wow.
He probably pays $15 million in advertising a month. Honestly, in the state of Florida. That guy's overhead is because that's how he's getting. He's got a system. He's got a system of success of how he does it. And he started it here.
He showed it to me.
And then he replicated it in all these other states.
He showed it to me, and it starts the call center.
A lot of lawyers are haters of him. I'm not. I think he's a fantastic businessman.
His annual advertising budget is $100 million.
See what I'm saying? So $15 million a month almost. So, yeah, about $10 million a month.
Yeah, but he showed me with it. They have I've been to the corporate. He's based out of Orlando, and they got he owns the skyscraper that they're in. He owned like Jay. Remember when you used to be in the Bank of America building?
Yep.
Well, there's a skyscraper in Orlando that's about half that size, but it's where Morgan & Morgan's offices are, and he owns the building.
Well, he bought licensing rights to Jimmy's building. It's the Morgan & Morgan building on the side of that one.
That's right.
He bought Jimmy Cleavis. So he didn't buy the building, but he bought the licensing, like when they sell Trump.
And his St. Pete offices are in Jimmy's building.
Yep.
With naming rights.
Yep.
But in Orlando, he actually owns the building.
I heard he has accumulated a tremendous amount of property all over Orlando.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
No, he's
the man. I mean, how can you hate on a guy like that? You know, we're not competitors. There's so many lawyers in the state of Florida. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm either the right fit for somebody or I'm not.
Well,
I'm not fighting with that guy.
When you get a guy like John Morgan, you prop him up. You're like, hey, listen, man, that guy's got it figured out. That's my boy.
And I've never said a bad word about him, and I'm sure he's never said a bad word about me. And I bet you knows exactly who I am.
What's up, John?
Yep.
Like, what's up? I love him.
And he would know because of my history with you exactly who I am.
Yeah. Lummy, I think we're done, my friend. Let's do a 10:20.
Perfect.
That'll give me like a few minutes to sit on my chair. 10:20, 10:30-ish. Okay, is everybody good with that?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lumet,
co-host Dr. Dan Diaco Esquire of Council,
co-host J. Diaco Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council,
Rhett, the Filthy Ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
And for everything else, go to thebubbaarmy.com.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repay the law.